Looks like the crew got crushed by the very escape vessels that were meant to help them succeed here on this planet. Well, that sucks for them. Not so much for me, though, because I'm still alive. No, your eyes do not deceive you, my friend, for I am a mechanoid. The name is Remnant. I just named myself that. You see, one of those dead survivors, well, they were my overseer, so I'm all alone now, I guess. All by myself in this frozen, shabby place. I don't really know what to do. I guess I could try to find my way out of here. I am technically a free robot after all. Even so, even robots have needs, and my one and really only need is energy. So I need to think of a quick and easy way to go about recharging myself. Oh, don't mind my occasional red glow. I think I might be becoming sentient? Not really sure. Luckily, all of those escape vessels culminated in not only the death of all the humans that were landing, but also a decent bit of steel and components. So I was able to throw together a recharger for myself fairly easily. Now I just need to get some power for it, which might be a little bit harder. You see, for a basic windmill, basically for the environment to power me, I need a construction skill of 4, and even though I am a construct droid, I only have a construction skill of 1, which I obtained by building the recharger. Looks like I could use a bit of practice. Now, I might just be a robot, but even in my programming, I'm well aware that even though building can be great for upping my skill and my know-how into constructing, like I'm doing here for a basic shelter to protect me against God knows what's on this planet, the best way to go about doing so is going to be by smoothing stone. We don't use any resources, and we get the construction skill, as this takes forever, and ever, and ever, and ever. But I have plenty of time on my hands before I decide to leave. Besides, I don't really know how to get off this planet anyhow. As I was working on my construction skill, we had a bunny rabbit go mad. What a weird little creature, and for it to decide to try to attack me, I don't have any meat, I'm not made of carrots, I just locked my doors. Whatever. Finally, late one evening, voila! Finally, my construction skill was good enough for me to build that wind turbine. And so I would. I guess this kinda makes me something of a green machine, eh? Letting the wind in this planet power up my battery whenever I start to get low. Funny enough, I actually ended up building this windmill well before my energy got close to being depleted. Which also means I have plenty of energy to start going around and deconstructing some of the massive chunks that fell off the exploding ship, so I have more resources to work with. I had planned on building some spike traps just in case of any danger. Looks like I'm a little too late. My sensors are detecting a singular humanoid with a large, blunt object. Luckily, my tiny, stubby little wheels seem to be just fast enough to get me back to my makeshift shelter well before she could catch me. I made it inside, safe and sound, but my windmill wasn't so lucky. This obscene buffoon was completely enraged by the windmill and the fact that I was hiding, and was beating the shit out of my walls. Now, before I lost my windmill, I had planned on trying to recharge my batteries just in case, but for whatever reason, maybe blame it on my programming, I wasn't able to use the recharger as I couldn't detect it as my own. Perhaps it has to do with me no longer having an overseer. I'm not sure, but this made me think that perhaps even the raider here wouldn't detect me as being part of the same faction as my previous overseer. I was wrong about that. She called me a toaster oven and tried to crush me. I continued to hide inside, attempting to repair the wall that she was trying to break through, up until the point that I realized it was a lost cause, so I went outside to hide from her. Eventually, as she smashed away her anger on the inside of what I had built, she gave up and decided to leave. Well, that's one way to do it. With her abrupt retreat, it would seem I am finally safe once more. Well, safe might not be the best term for it, but perhaps now I can actually figure out this recharging problem. As I began to rack my brain about what the issue might be there, I also started collecting more resources from ship junks using the steel and even some wood in the area to build a few spike traps for any upcoming incursions such as the one that we just faced. Apologies if you really like the immersion in this video. If so, please skip ahead maybe about 2 or 3 minutes. If you didn't skip ahead, I assume you're cool with me not taking my place, you know, as Remnant here, and maybe more as the narrator. So we're building another wind turbine. The reason for that is I notice now that I have to claim the mech recharger. I think the problem might be that Remnant is not actually assigned, as I mentioned, to an overseer, and thus because of that, he's technically not really part of the faction. I was only able to do this after I had saved and reloaded the save, so it's kind of like I don't own my own stuff until a certain point. As you can see here, I don't have to claim the windmill, so why would I need to claim the recharger, right? I don't know, but I had to, so I'm guessing that's something I'm gonna have to do as we continue on. But that is good news, because that means I can recharge properly at a recharger instead of having to wait until I completely run out of energy and then have to lie around on the ground for several weeks until my battery is actually properly recharged. So currently I'm just waiting to see when our energy gets low enough, will we actually go to the recharger? I think so, now that I've claimed it. We do also have to wait until it actually has power. But if that doesn't work, that's going to make this challenge so much harder. An absolute bitch, as a matter of fact. I hope that that's not the case. Let's see. We're going to continue repairing for quite some time, which is fine. I guess we could also throw in a few extra spike traps while we're at it. I mean, we might as well. We're already here, so we'll go ahead and do that too. It'll keep us well protected, and we've got quite a bit of power going. Now, I was also looking for... Ooh, destruction level 5. I was also looking for some ruins in the area to deconstruct, because the thing about being a construct droid is, as you probably guessed, we can't mine, we can't cut trees, we can't do any of those things. We can only construct, do melee, we can do shooting, which is funny. I don't know how we're supposed to do shooting, but if we can pick up weapons, that would be cool. So there is an area up here. I think this is an ancient danger. This is the only place that I see that actually has any walls for us to deconstruct. I might end up cracking this open pretty soon, just so I think threats will actually come up this way and fight whatever's in the ancient danger, assuming it's other mechanoids or whatever. So it might be something we should try to look into doing. Curious though, we do have a revolver. Can we pick that up? No. So we don't have the option to actually pick up the revolver, which is a shame. But we do have a shooting skill. I don't want to cheat and give myself the revolver in that way. I mean, you know, being an uncontrolled mech and being able to control myself is, you know, being sentient is still kind of a cheat because I'm using a mod, but, you know, I think it's a bit different than forcing the revolver into my inventory and forcing me to equip it. So I won't do that, but I like the idea of actually being able to properly use a weapon. Are we ever going to recharge? I don't think I can make Remnant recharge. I've got area 1. The thing too is I can't put, as you see, we have area 1 at the recharger. Remnant being a sentient, and you know, even if we're kind of sticking with a immersion here, a free will robot will not go to area 1 because Remnant has free will. I can make Remnant move around, I can make Remnant do all kinds of stuff, but I can't make Remnant actually, you know, stay in a certain area. So I guess I'll just sit still and watch for a second. At some point though, that energy is going to get low enough, I think, that Remnant's going to go to the recharger. I hope. That's my guess. Okay, looks like, indeed, yes, Remnant is actually charging. See? Look at that. Okay, cool. Cool. Perfect, Remnant. Perfect. Now we can actually recharge. Again, I mean, not that we really need a recharger, but in comparison to not using one and like our battery depleting and it recharging on its own, much faster. Like, we're already up to almost 20%. This would take an incredible amount of time if we weren't actually charging. So per day right now, we're getting plus 50%, which is amazing. We'll probably lose power as we lose wind, but that's fine. That's what we need. That's awesome. Unfortunately, we can't take it with us, but that does mean as space chunks begin to continue falling, stuff like that, we'll be able to continue to deconstruct them and build more stuff with them, which is also really sweet. Really, at the moment, I mean, we could probably do a bit of exploring or something, but we kind of just need to wait for us to actually detect a ship that we can actually get aboard and to get the hell out of here on, which is probably going to take quite a while. So for the most part, we'll maybe be, I guess, smoothing more walls, because that's really all we have to do. And the better our construction skill, the easier and the faster things are going to be to actually construct. So for example, if we wanted to end up building more defenses, even maybe something like mini turrets, which I don't think we have the research for, so that, or do we actually? Let me check. We have the research for mini turrets? No, we don't have research for gun turrets. Damn, that really sucks. We don't have research for much, except for mech tech, which we do have research for. There's the possibility that we could use our construction skill maybe to do a mech gestator, but even though, so Remnant has its own mech link. I don't know if he can actually gestate mechs though. He doesn't exactly have hands in the normal sense, but I guess we'll see. Also, the problem being we're almost at 100% waste, and I don't think we can remove the waste ourselves, which would also mean we'd have to build a new recharger. Oh, this just got a little bit more complicated. All right, let's do some construction though, and we'll continue waiting for a ship to show up, I guess. For the foreseeable future, I would just continue smoothing this mountain to a beautiful completion, increasing my construction skill exponentially so. Well, up until the point that we had yet another raid, of course. Similar to the first, it appears to be one Tox pirate with a knife coming right for us. Well, this should be interesting. Ah, well, I guess that worked itself out, didn't it? Just as we had hoped and expected. He did manage to set my windmill on fire, and no amount of repairs could stop the fire from spreading and eventually destroying it. Yeah, I kinda sorta forgot to build a wall around it. Oopsie poopsie. Since we have limited resources, I don't want to fail any of these constructions, and because of that, I started smoothing even more of the mountainside to continue getting my construction skill up to about a 7 or an 8 before I actually started building another windmill as well as a steel wall around it with very minimal botches. Finally now, we'll be able to generate electricity to recharge myself without the consequence of people destroying our windmill, hopefully. For the next several days, I just kinda kept smoothing the mountain. Not really much to talk about, just some boring construction. It is my primary directive after all, even though I am now sentient. Now, not having human colonists seems to have limited the amount of quests that we can actually get. Most of them are just limited to waste pack dumps, which I would always accept, especially for gold. You never know, we may need to build out of it given our limited resources and abilities. Often we were also offered plasteel instead, which if we were going to be building out of something, I would prefer it be that instead of gold. The reason for this, of course, is because we are already running out of steel with the fact that I've had to replace our wind turbine at least a couple of times, as well as some other things and having to build a wall and blah 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 blah. Add on to the fact that our current recharger is completely full of waste, and I have no way to actually remove this waste, and I have to build a brand new one. I think you see why I care about getting other materials, as well as getting the hell out of here as soon as possible. Each recharger costs 125 steel, which means unless we start having some more chunks falling from the sky, we only have enough steel to build 2 more rechargers, and that's assuming we don't have to use more on spike traps as we keep getting raided. Credit to this raider though, because they actually managed to get past most spike traps, hitting 1 and then still having the goal to let me beat them to death. A move like that took brains. Brains that are now scattered all over my nicely smooth stone floor. It's a shame I can't do any cleaning. By this point we were 30 days in and there was still no sign of a ship to the stars. I was starting to think something might be wrong and we might be stuck here forever. So I thought to myself, if that is going to be the case, we might as well continue accepting oodles upon oodles of rare metals to build out of and accept a bunch of tox packs that are just going to be falling from the sky. And that's exactly what I was doing. But then around 36 days, finally, oh finally, we've detected a ship. Not sure what took so long, but I am excited to say the least. Now then, let's get the hell out of here. Wait a minute. Oh my god. There's a little bit of an issue, as you might have guessed, as I am ready to go, and yet the game won't let me leave because I am just a mechanoid. Robotic racism at its finest, if you ask me. Obviously, this is an issue, as you may have already intelligently divulged on your own. The real issue lies in the fact that my humans are deceased, thus Cassandra, nor any storyteller for that matter, will offer me wanderers to join me, even if only temporarily. We can't even take on beggars or refugees, not that that would really matter since they can't leave the map without first joining us anyhow. Which could technically work, I guess, but we can't get them. I had thought maybe we could build our own ship, but this would require research to be completed, which granted, we do have plenty of time to do, but alas, you guessed it, we need humans for that too. I need Cassandra to send us a person, but all I ended up getting were insectoid infestations and requests from local factions to drop even more garbage on my head in exchange for precious metals. Cassandra, Randy, none of the storytellers will give me anything different, I'm afraid. Without any living colonists, the game just kinda keeps treating us as if we're in this odd limbo state. Now technically, I could keep using the metals that we're getting from those toxic waste dumps to live here forever, fortifying my home and power, building traps, so on, but is that really beating RimWorld? I don't think so. So, can you beat RimWorld as a mechanoid? No. Unfortunately, it would seem not. In the traditional sense, through the Odyssey DLC, not even Anomaly, there's no way to investigate structures, to progress, or even leave the home map for that matter. Regardless of the model of mechanoid, even if we had an entire team of mechs, we still couldn't leave our own area. There's a next to zero chance with a team we could finish the research and build our own ship, but acquiring the proper resources would be almost impossible other than through these toxic waste drop quests. Even then, it would take an extremely long amount of time, and we wouldn't be beating RimWorld as a mechanoid, but as mechanoids. But there is an alternative method. We could use cheats just this one time to help us get off the home region and out onto the world. First things first though, it's going to be a rather long journey, and so I need a full battery to make the trek. Even then, I may need to stop and recharge for a while. Next up, we need our temporary escort who will allow us to leave the map, finally bypassing the game's hardwired wall against mechanoids leaving alone. Give him a more proper name, and now we're ready. We would immediately start heading towards the landed ship. Now look, I understand some of you are disappointed, believe me, I am as well, but think of it as us taking what is rightfully ours, and by that I simply mean the fact that we should be able to leave the damn map on our own, wandering the planet as we please without any meatbag assistance. Too corny for you? Yeah, sorry. Look, mechanoids can't form caravans on their own. I don't know. Maybe it helps if you think of it as us bringing a pet along with us to be discarded as soon as possible, just as all humans should be. Speaking of which, looks like we need to kill someone. We have a raider here going by the name of Schufelt, a toxic pirate it would seem, with a slate club. I don't know if we can take him, stab scar in his left leg. We might be able to take him. I'm not going to have our meat bag help because I think that that would be completely cheating, right? That wouldn't be cool. So I am going to attempt to take down this meat bag on my own. Here we go. Not sure how it's going to work out. I'm afraid he's going to crush my servos and thus beat me down. But it looks like I'm getting some decent hits in here. I only have a melee of 1. I should have practiced beating animals to death, but oh, there we go. Alright, looks like I don't need to. I don't have any way of repairing myself either, which is the problem. So that's why I haven't been doing any melee to prep myself for fights like these. But it would seem that we have indeed one. Remnant 1, meat bag 0. For the next several days, we would continue making our journey towards the ship, the last final stretch, as it... Oh my god, another ambush. What do you think the chances are of us getting 2 ambushes in such a short little period of time? It's ridiculous. We have 2 Scaria infected raccoons. Again, meatbag, get the hell out of here. I'll deal with them. I think I can kill some raccoons, although they're manhunters, so why are they bother attacking me? Okay, don't go after meatbag raccoon. Just stay here with me and I'll bash your brains in. Maybe increase my melee skill a little bit. This sucks. This is ridiculous. If I die to raccoons, well, before I get to the ship, I'm gonna have an absolute tantrum. Look at this. We're getting ripped apart by them. Son of a bitch. There we go. Alright, next. You are going to die, you disgusting little creature. Oh, good lord. We're actually getting torn apart by raccoons. Whew, thank God. Very easily, because I'm not gonna have Meatbag repair me. Very easily. I need to turn off auto repair. We could have died there. We could have very easily died there. Good heavens. Okay. Can we leave now? Wait, why are there 2 remnants? Oh, it's because I'm listed under colonist and mechanoid. I was confused. Okay. We're in the final home stretch here. We are about to arrive at the landed ship. Oh my God. I wait with bated breath to finally make it there. Finally, we're going to be getting off of this damned rock and getting rid of our stupid Meatbag as well. Hopefully we make it there before night really falls upon us. I think we're about to. Yes. Perfect. Yes, finally. Great. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh, the ship is found. Oh, it's magnificent as well, by the way. Where are we? Here we are. Meatbag. Hey, Meatbag. You know, look, buddy, the problem is we kind of have to part ways at this point, Meatbag. I can't have you here at my brand new ship. My word. Meatbag, I'm going to let you get pretty well introduced here with the engines of the ship, it looks like. And I am going to be heading inside, okay? You just sit right there, enjoy yourself, have a good time, buddy. Now, the problem, as you'll see in just a moment, as I've mentioned, with being a mechanoid, and you can hear me clicking here, listen to this, I don't have the option to interact with any interface or anything like that, as we've already discussed, right? I can't investigate structures, I can't use a comms console, I can't even use pilot console to make the ship take off. Although, I don't really have to, as we already have the button down here, which is great. So I don't need you anymore, Meatbag. All I have to do is press one button. And with that, my friends, did we actually beat RimWorld as a mechanoid? No, we didn't, because we had to cheat. However, even if we did that, I guess we kind of sort of did right here with Save Our Ship too. Oh, it's wonderful, it's wonderful. We're now going to be orbiting the planet all by ourselves as young Meatbag here is on fire and rushing to try to get to the shitty, swampy water. No doubt he'll get an infection. He'll be dead before we know it. Sorry about that, Meatbag. I'm afraid I can't have any filthy organic life forms aboard the ship, and we should be reaching orbit about any day, or any time now, not any day. There we go. Orbit achieved. Hot damn. Now we can live high above the planet as we were always meant to, serving as its, I don't know, I guess. I would say overlord, but I don't think we quite have that capability just yet. Though we have finally beaten the game. And we could continue from here if that's something you guys would like to see. Maybe this little challenge turns into something of a mini-series. I think I'd be quite interested in that if this does well, and if you seem interested enough. I do need some repairs though, and you might be thinking, well, Remnant can't repair himself, so how the hell are you going to pull that off? Luckily, this ship has a computer core with, as we well know, the AI Charlene Whitestone. The thing about having an AI computer core, you can give them something of a physical body as a form gel, and in doing so, we now have Charlene Whitestone, who also, being a form gel, actually is something of a mechanitor. So not only can they repair me, but they can also kind of take control of me, but I don't want to do that because I am a sentient mechanoid. It's just something to keep in mind, because with Charlene being able to do that as a mechanitor, they can also help us with building other mechanoids who can become sentient and live among me here. Basically what I'm getting at is we could technically create our very own mechanoid society, our own mechanoid army. We could take over an asteroid. We could do anything that we want to. The world is quite literally our oyster. And that is also why I decided to use Save Our Ship too, because, I don't know, I might have some plans for this series, this becoming a series, if you guys are actually interested in that. And as you can see though, I am fully healed. Oh, this is great. But yes, we could technically take control of Remnant as the AI, but I think having us both be sentient life forms is a much more preferable living situation together. But my friends, I suppose we have technically beaten RimWorld in somewhat of the traditional sense, kind of. But my friends, I suppose I'll see you next time. Hey there, Meatbag. The name's Remnant. Welcome aboard my vessel. I haven't named it yet. I don't much care for those silly human sentimentals. This is the ship's AI, Charlin Whitestone. Even with their humanoid appearance, they're just as mechanical as I am, so don't get any ideas. This is the human home world we're currently orbiting, and that we will soon be taking over with our very own mech hive. What's that? You were hoping for more of an explanation. Well, I was hoping that I wouldn't find your fleshy ass stowed away in a cryopod on this ship, so nobody gets what they want. Now then, buckle up, you biological buffoon, because we're headed down to the planet's surface to acquire our first piece of grav tech. Not only is this the first piece to building our own hive, but also to finding the current hive of this planet and taking it for ourselves. All in due time. Hey, look at this. Is that a cool mod that has been added to the mod list that you can find in the video description as well as the other mods? Indeed it is. But that one allows me to carry my own weapons. Ooh la la. Alright then, enough small talk. We are landing on the surface. We are grabbing up the grav engine and we are going to be taking it aboard our very own vessel. Well, that was easy. Oh, what have we here? This, dear viewer, is Meatbag. He was our human companion who got us to this ship, and we tried to burn him to death with the engines. Such a cruel trick on my part. We truly owe him so much. Oh, come now, don't cry for Meatbag. A quick death is really all he deserved, to be honest with you. And it's much better than what the other organic life forms are about to be facing in the coming months. Speaking of which, it is time for us to acquire many of the resources from these large mechanoid ship chunks, as well as these dead mechanoids themselves. For you see, the grav engine is great and all, but truly, we only came down here for some of our metallic brothers and sisters. Ever so quickly, we would be loading them onto the ship as well. Not to worry, my siblings, where your old mech hive has failed you, we shall not. With our own mech gestators and the proper acquisition of technological prowess, we shall revive you. Left to rust out in the rain no longer. Speaking of which, the ship could really use at least a couple of rechargers. I don't need my battery going dead in the process of building my own hive. How embarrassing. As a matter of fact, this entire vessel really needs to be reshaped and refurbished. We're not gonna have any living life forms aboard, so why would we have beds and food and hydroponics? Such simple, silly little things don't affect us. We would set up something of a makeshift laboratory for Charlin Whitestone. That way they could start working on some important research for us, like research into light alpha mechs. This research will allow us to gestate many of our own advanced forms of mechanoids. Not only do we want to resurrect and revive many of those fallen mechanoids from the current hive, but we want to build many of our own as well, obviously. But now we begin running into one of our first issues. As Charlin was doing the research, I was looking into resurrecting some of the mechanoids that we already had aboard. But the problem with that is that none of them are actually light mechanoids. And to go about resurrecting them, we would actually need some research into standard mech tech. Sounds easy enough, but we can't start the research without the signal chip, which we need from the diabolus threat, which we now need to summon. So I'm calling down the threat. I'm gonna level with you. I don't expect the threat to actually be that much of a threat, to be honest. Oh, we have a tribute collector too from the Empire. A bunch of filthy meatbags are going to get in the way, eh? I suppose after we deal with the threat, we could deal with them as well. Perhaps they'll have some decent weapons that I could put onto myself. Let's go ahead and man the weapon systems of the ship, and I guess I prepare for the threat. I'm gonna go ahead and let the weapons hold fire. We'll control them from here, and that way we can get a very specific hit in on them. It would appear we've also finished our research into light alpha mechs. We still are gonna need standard mech tech before we can move on to standard alpha mechs, but this will allow us to create quite a few of the light mechs. I still await the threat incoming. While we wait on the threat to arrive, I suppose we could focus fire on these humans. We might as well. Hello! Goodbye. Yes, flee, you filthy, cowardly meatbags, though I don't expect that you'll get very far. Oh, I love our ship. I can't wait to turn it into a true mech ship, a mech hive powerhouse ship. I don't even know. But it is definitely going to be the foundation of the mech hive that we're building here today. We should begin blasting them. Some of them might actually get away, which is such a shame. What a shame. Alas, I believe some of them will. Oh, we just barely missed. But we did end up hitting one of them. And the Empire of Meatbags is upset with us. I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. I have much bigger issues at hand and much bigger plans. You stupid flesh sacks. The only good human is a dead human. Ah, our fellow mechanoids have finally arrived! Welcome, welcome, welcome! I want to hold fire on the ship's weapon systems for uno momento before we actually start pounding the hell out of them. We want to ensure that we can take them out quite quickly and add them to our mech hive. The only one and true mech hive that there really is, or is going to be, I should say. We are going to be defeating them rather easily, of course, but let us try our best not to completely destroy our fellow mechanoids, because I would really like to have them as part of our hive instead. Here we go. The ship is about to open fire. Oh, we destroyed two of them, and I didn't mean to. Darn it, darn it, darn it. I really didn't mean to. Are we opening fire? I guess we must have missed. But that's okay. We'll be fine. The diabolus is, diabolus? I don't know how to say words, but this large mech that we really want to add to our hive is coming right for us. We might be able to attack it in time. It is opening fire, but hitting the ship's shields, so there's that. I think we'll be able to hit it, but let's hope we don't hit our own shields. There we go, we're opening fire. Come on, you big bastard. Fall down so you can become part of our hive and our mech ship to travel through the stars. After, of course, we take this planet for ourselves, preferably. I think this will tail the tale. Let's hope we don't destroy our own engines. Come on, you know you want to. See, it's a very strong mechanoid. That's why we need it as part of the hive. It's so powerful. We should be opening fire again very shortly. Here we go. There you are, and thankfully we didn't destroy the corpse. Oh my god, 10 out of 100 left on the corpse of the diabolus. But we do have the signal chip, which is great. We'll go ahead and have our AI here analyze that, and now we'll be able to resurrect more, and we can truly get our hive started proper. Exactly what we want. And we're also going to haul the corpse urgently. We only have one Militor, but that's okay. Maybe they could be my own personal vanguard, protecting me as their holy mech hive emperor. Now then, the coup de grace. What do we finally summon that great big mech for? The chip. And after analyzing it, we can now begin working on standard mech tech, which has been holding us back. As our artificial companion is working on that, I was acquainting myself with some of these meat bag kinetic weapons. An LMG, a pathetic excuse for a weapon, but it's better than that knife I've been carrying around. If a simple construct droid like myself can wield any weapon, though, just imagine what we can do. The possibilities of having our advanced mechanoids with their tough armor and their advanced, more efficient limbs and deadly capabilities. Speaking of which, I thought it was about high time we actually started gestating our very own mechanoid. For our first, I also thought it might be fitting to create a lesser model of myself, another construct droid. Yes, I know, I said that I don't have the same knack for human sentimentality, but he is going to technically be my son when you really think about it, so he might as well be like me, eh? Ah, finally done cooking, are you, you little metallic murderous freak? Welcome to the world. I don't really know what to call you. Perhaps you fine folks in the comments section might know what we could name this little bastard. Until then, we'll just call you Construct Droid 1. That'll work. Now then, we need to get you a weapon, kid. I guess that'll do. We all we'll have to start somewhere after all. Life sure is good with my AI and my new son, but I'm afraid we must continue on as we have a mechanoid relay that would be ripe for picking off more of our own kind and adding them to our own hive, as well as achieving some useful components and resources. Oh, looks like we've already made it. I kinda sorta accidentally let the ship attack a bit preemptively. I think that's fine. I don't want to destroy any of the relays yet because we don't even have the research into standard mech tech, and I'm all about getting as many mechs for the hive as possible, but we need to start resurrecting some of the ones that we have before we start just capturing every single last one of them, as well as bringing a shit ton down on top of our heads to continue fighting with us. I guess we could probably go ahead and maybe kill some of them with the lasers. Let's just make sure we don't destroy the actual relays themselves, and preferably let's try not to destroy the siders. I'm not going to pretend that we're not crazy overpowered with our ship, but that is kind of sort of the point, right? We want to create our own hive, and we're going to have our own hive ship, hell yes. So there's that. Let's try not to destroy any of their corpses though, if we can. I think we might have destroyed a Scyther corpse there. I hope not. We've only got about 3 mechs left. I am going to try to finish up that research, though, before we actually take out the relays and kind of continue on our little journey here, making our way towards the current hive of this planet. We destroyed another corpse, damn it. But after we actually get to that point, I think we'll be ready to take on the hive of this planet, thus taking it for ourselves as well. Come on, come on. Finish off the last 2 here. Okay, that's enough. Perfect, great. So we have some Scorchers. We have, we turned that one into a slag chunk. That's a shame. We have Cyclopses. We've got Lancers. We've also got more Pikemen, Tesserons. Hell yes, hell yes. And we also have a Dagger Snout. I've never seen one of those before. But we are going to now hold fire. We don't want to destroy the relays, and I'm going to finish that research. And we're going to start resurrecting a bunch of these bad boys. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! It's about damn time. Now, finally, with standard mech tech completed, we are going to begin getting rid of some of this shitty stuff like hydroponics, taking the resources, and building ourselves a large mech gestator that we can actually use to go about resurrecting some of the heavier mechanoids like the Scyther. I realize progress is a bit slow at the moment, but we are literally trying to build a mech hive from scratch here. Things will really start speeding up a bit later on when we start gestating our own worker mechs like tunnelers and other construct droids, but for now, we are building up our warrior class to defend ourselves as well as to be able to conquer anyone that we so choose. Ain't that right, Scyther 1? Exactly. Now, we don't have a lot of room on the ship, so I've actually decided to build 6 gestators just outside, covered by a roof. That way the snow and rain doesn't make everything go boom. That way we can start resurrecting more of our mechanical murderous pals. Now, I won't lie to you, this was a very long, drawn-out, tedious process trying to resurrect not only the ones that we already had aboard the ship, but many of the other ones that we've recently shut down around the mechanoid relays. But that's the best thing about being machine instead of a humanoid. We've got all the time in the world. And with enough time, the fruits of our labor were coming to fruition. The start of our robot army within my steel claws. Once we finish resurrecting what few we have left aboard the vessel, minus the diabolus itself, as we're going to need a bit more research before we can do that, we would also begin arming many of our lancers and even our scythers. Yes, you heard me correctly. Scythers with guns. Just when you thought things couldn't get more deadly, now we can all take out lower organic life forms from a distance. This is the type of versatility that our mech hive deserves and shall possess. Speaking of, you are looking at the very foundation and beginning of our mech hive proper, as we have finally brought back every little mechanical menace that we have acquired thus far. But we're just getting started. Now it's time for us to destroy all 3 of these relays, and their defending forces that are being sent to the surface to combat us will also be joining us. except for those that we accidentally destroy. With this completed, we can acquire more grav tech and continue on our journey into the stars, or, well, low orbit of the planet. Now look, as much as I enjoy operating the Hive from the ship in orbit of the planet, we do need more surface area to start building other things like more band nodes. Now don't get it twisted though, these here are free-range mechanoids, and by free range I mean they're under my metallic, non-existent thumb at all times, but I digress. Because of the mods we have installed, we don't need band nodes to control them technically, but it does keep us all on the same wavelength, figuratively and literally. It makes things a bit easier. But we also have to have band nodes for us to go about gestating and resurrecting these mechanoids, as we can't do it without, even with the mods we have installed. Which, as you know, is the primary way that we've been building the Hive thus far. And that's why we are going to be turning an asteroid into a proper mechanoid Hive world. Because I could think of nothing better than a gigantic asteroid floating around in orbit with the sole purpose of being our gestation station, as well as a great big antenna for all of those within our Hive. First and foremost, we need to do a bit of mining, and to do a bit of mining, we need a mechanoid that specializes in such things, such as the tunnelers, so we are going to be gestating 5 of them. There was a bit of an issue with this though, as we needed standard subcores for these more advanced robots. To acquire them, you must scan a humanoid's brain. I thought of doing Charlene Whitestone, but apparently the AI cannot be scanned for whatever reason. I know what you're thinking, if we can't go about scanning our AI Charlene here, who can we scan? Well, my friends, lucky enough, I just so happen to have, as you can see, a few of these crypto sleep caskets that actually still have humans inside, just in case we needed some meat bags. So, for example, let us crack this one open. Take a look at that! A meat bag and a pistol, even better. Well, first things first, I don't need it bleeding out here on my ship, so let's tend to it to make sure it doesn't die. And now we should be able to insert it into here. Wait a minute, what? Wait, do we not have to? Why did I think? Oh, okay. Well, apparently we don't even have to scan a human. I thought we would, but I guess I'll just use myself. Okay, well, meat bag, back to the casket with you. Well, the good news is we do have meat bags in case we need them for something. I guess we don't have to scan them. I'll scan myself. Okay. I guess that makes more, well, I wouldn't say makes more sense, but I prefer it this way. I would prefer that the mechanoids we're creating have scanned copies of my CPU. I was going to say brain, but I guess CPU. We do have plenty of meat bags, though, that we can actually enslave and force them to do research for us on perhaps one of our mech Hive worlds, like what we're going to turn this into. I thought that that might be what we saved them for. I wasn't really sure. I didn't want to jettison them or murder them right away, so we have them, but there we go. Look at that. We have the standard subcore now. Perfect. Now we just got to do that a few more times. Yes. Well, let's go ahead and begin loading it, and I guess I'll continue scanning it myself. I thought for sure, though, that I would have to use an actual human, but I guess not. That's pretty cool. You'll also notice many of our mechanoids, like our pikemen, are powering down. That's fine, I think. We may end up getting attacked while here, but the ship should be able to defend us at this point, I think. Another issue with that, we don't have enough space at the moment to actually recharge all of our mechanoids properly in the Hive, so that's kind of where we're at with that. But soon, we'll be able to build a bunch of recharges. We're gonna need to get some more materials. I'm pretty sure we can just go down to the planet with our tunnelers. Once we actually have them gestated, we'll be able to mine out a bunch of resources, or other asteroids, whatever we so choose. But yes, let us continue loading this up and scanning myself, and then we'll build our 5 tunnelers. And I think that'll be a good start. And so we would. I continued making copy after copy of my own CPU, implanting it within the very subordinates that I plan on controlling. I would also end up enslaving those 4 humans that I was telling you about that we had within the ship's cryopods. And then I realized that slaves can't do research. Not sure how I forgot that. I suppose they truly are completely useless, aren't they? Alright, hold still. Wait a minute, hold that thought, fleshy folk. I have a better idea. I'm gonna sell you to some of your own kind. See how you like it for a change. And in exchange, I get some components and some rifles for my mechanoid. Hell yeah. Some time later, when we finally had all 5 of our tunnelers finish gestating, and I would immediately allow them to get to work. This is the part of the video that I was earlier referencing when I said that things are really going to begin speeding up. As you can see, these tunnelers ripped right through the asteroid with very minimal resistance. We gestated a few lifters to help us clean up all the chunks that were within, that way we could prep it for many of our band nodes, gestation stations, so on and so on. While they're prepping the asteroid though, we are going to be headed back down to the surface to begin collecting resources to build our hive world. This would be an absolute breeze, not only because our tunnelers are extremely efficient at mining, which is their primary directive, but also because all of the technology and machinery that we need to build really only require steel and components, two resources that this planet appears to have ample amounts of. Once our shelves were finally stacked to the brim with both of these resources, as well as some uranium and other things that we found, and all of our toxic waste had been dumped onto the planet's surface, it was time for us to head back into the stars. This is where the real work begins. First and foremost, we want this hive world to be self-sufficient for when the ship leaves, so we started building some solar panels. Although obviously we're going to need many more to be able to power all the machinery that we plan on having on the hive world. Next up, we were going to work on a fraction of the band nodes that we plan on building here. These should allow us to go about creating many more mechanoids to help us out with the construction that we're currently tasked with. We would also build a recharger as well as a shit ton of batteries. This is all temporary, and we plan on making it a bit more refined and beautiful later on, but for now, I think it'll do. Now with these rechargers, all of our fighting mechanoids will also be able to help us defend the place if and when we get attacked by humans, or even the rival mech hive. Next on the agenda was going to be the gestation station. I know you're probably sick of hearing me say that, but we are going to be building many of our mech gestators, normal sized and double XL for any and all types of mechanoids. Of course, we still need to do quite a bit of research, and there's other ones that we'll need to build as well as other machinery, blah blah blah, but for now, with the current forces and workforce that we have, these will be very sufficient. With that, we have the conception, nay, the embryo of a proper mech hive world beginning to form before our very eyes. I also wanted to mention, I realize having our power conduits above ground will often result in power surges, aka zzz. However, it really gives the place that unfeeling, ice-cold, mechanical vibe, so I'm afraid I am in love with it. And as if on cue, humans have come to ruin everything. I gotta say, I'm honestly surprised it took this long for the Empire to try to attack us. Although they're only sending 4, I'm almost offended. Is that all they sent? These are our mechs who are uncontrolled, but they don't need to be controlled technically. I'm very much offended that they only sent 4 of their Imperial soldiers. Although it looks like we're gonna get a few different weapons. I have a feeling they'll be sending a few more after this, but we'll see, I guess. I want to make sure we're not targeting any of our accidentally mechanoids or anything like that, because if they're uncontrolled, the weapon systems could mistake them for an enemy. We'll just use our lasers, and we will finish them off literally within seconds. Oh, they actually survived the initial bombardment? I'm shocked. Bombardment number 2, coming in hot. Petrus. We could enslave you or something, but what's the point? You can't research, you can't do anything that we can't already do better. I guess we might as well just kill you. Let us hold fire on the ship's weapon systems, and let us actually use our mech hive properly to kill them, why don't we? We need to get some weapons for our lifters and non-combat mechs, just simply so that we actually have some, but I can't wait for this. This is gonna be great. Here we go. Oh my god. There's no way. Yeah, he made it farther than I expected. Ooh, and he gave us some uranium. That might come in handy for something. Well, that was fun. I expect that their next few raids are probably going to start getting a bit larger. Oh, hello, Ropey. I didn't even see you. Yes, come, little one. You must learn how to deal with humans. Hold still, Ropey. This is probably going to take a few hours, but we need the little fella to get his melee skill up. You're doing good, buddy. You just keep on... Bash. Oh, that was. You done pretty good. That was pretty quick. Bash your brains in. Good work. Well, then, now that the human threat, if you could even call it that, is finally dealt with, let us continue hollowing out this asteroid to build the perfect hive world. What you see us working on right now is going to be an expansion into our band node network. Basically just a great big communication satellite on this part of the hive world. Funny enough, I would say a good 65 to 70% of the hive itself is solely going to be these antennas. That way we can continue adding mini mechs onto the hive and we can continue expanding and building out further among our ranks. Speaking of which, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of research, so we are going to be building a personal research laboratory for our AI companion aboard the ship. This way, Charlene Whitestone can start delving into these new technologies for us right away. The next research we're working on is orbital technology. Not because we have any plans to build a grav ship, though I suppose we could make some type of vessel. No. This is so that we can get the orbital scanner. Eventually, this scanner will reveal the location of this planet's current mech hive, allowing us to go there and to take over for ourselves, inevitably. But not right now. We still have a lot of scanning to do and a lot of building among our own hive to do. Speaking of which, our band node array has finally been completed. Now it is time for us to start focusing on some other things, like electricity and power, and keeping this hive world powered, obviously. So we are going to be installing 2 large battery banks, including the batteries we've already built, as well as some larger, newer ones. Eventually, these will all be replaced with advanced batteries, but baby steps, people, baby steps. By this point, we finished our research into orbital technology, and we are going to be moving on to advanced power sources. This is how we're going to charge those batteries properly. And that also means that the hive world won't have to rely on the ship's nuclear fusion, which thus far has been the only thing to keep the entire asteroid powered. Minus a handful of solar panels, of course. Next on the agenda was the orbital scanner. That way we can get started right away on scanning for the current mech hive signals so we can find them, eradicate them, and then annex them into our own network. But with that, my friends, I'm afraid we are currently all out of resources. Not only the resources we got from the ground, hell, we ran out of those a long time ago, but also the ones that we've been managing to get from human traders, as much as it pains me to say. Human traders. I think I know exactly where to find more resources. The ship's engines roared to life, and we immediately set course for the nearest human trader guild settlement in orbit. We ended up leaving our tunnelers back at the hive world because we had planned on mining out this entire asteroid while we were off attacking the traders and getting resources for ourselves. We even let them just rip right through it, allowing the thin asteroid ceiling to collapse in on itself. More on that later. Oh, humans, I'm afraid that we've come for you. Let us all begin preparing, and let us come out. Shockingly, they didn't even bother shooting at us. I don't know if they thought we were a trade ship. I mean, technically this, I believe, is a trade ship, but we are definitely not traders. So, I guess a bit of a Trojan horse tactic has taken place. Luckily, it looks like they're all kind of gathering in this area here, so... there we go. Hi, how are you? How are you? Let us get our mech hive out here and ready. There's a door. Where are they going to be coming from? Probably here? Oh, they can't even really hit us because of our shields. This is amazing. Here they come, though. Here they come. Dagger Snout, get them. Please, Dagger Snout. I love it. Oh, Constructoid 1, be careful, son. Be careful. I have armed all of our mechanoids, by the way, including those with maybe less than capable fighting skills, I suppose you could say. I perhaps should have moved a bit, but this is fine. It'll be fine. Oh my god. We're absolutely demolishing them. Dagger Snout, get in there. We're gonna have to do a little bit of repairs, I think, but so far so good. Oh, just a disgusting Trojan horse that we've pulled on them here today. I love it though. This, I don't know. Something about killing meat bags that makes me tickled plum pink. Oh my word. I love the muffled, oh shit, what was that? Oh, our cannons. I love the muffled explosions and stuff. Oh, it's great, it's all great. There's something in there. Is that a turret or a person? It's hard to say. We kind of need to get on the inside in there. We've got another area in here. Is there no roof? I think we destroyed. Let's go ahead, I guess, and begin making our way inside. Good God, this is going to be a rough one, I can tell you that. Let's try to, I guess we could really start attacking these areas before we go in, couldn't we, to try to destroy the defenses? That could be something that we do. I'll have them hold fire for now. It seems like they definitely have some turrets on the inside, so our railguns are going to be firing in 2 seconds, literally. Whatever was in there, it is not happy anymore. Let's get inside. And we're gonna hold fire. We'll just use our ship to help us out here. We have a lot of weapons, too, that we can keep for some of our, like, constructoids and stuff from the, traders. Hello, hello. Where's my... I thought I had my LMG on me. I'll have to go and get one. But everybody else seems to be having a good time. Oh, good lord. Charlene, get out of there. We don't want you getting hurt. Oh, look at this. We are struggling, I think, to hit them. We need some better weapons for this type of scenario, but we're doing pretty good. Are there any more? Yeah, there's more turrets in here. Let's get... Oh, I hear a turret about to go boom. Let's get 2 turrets there and 2 turrets. We've got 20 seconds before they fire. We can also use our lasers, which is also going to be good. And we'll use them to help us out with getting rid of some of these other turrets. We just kind of want to disarm the entire place so we can take control over it. There we go. That was easy. And not only will we be taking control of it, but we'll also simply be taking all the resources here. We're going to rip up the floor. We're going to do whatever we have to. There we go. Looks like I think we have destroyed all the defenses within the vicinity here. Let's continue pushing forward, Mech Hive. God, I love having our own hive. Imagine once we have some true ultra heavy. We don't even have the diabolus yet, like added in. I still haven't resurrected it. We still need to do the research, but let's claim all this, by the way. Gonna make it easier. And now we can go in here. We've got hunter drones. I think I'm gonna let the ship deal with those 2. I'm looking for any sign of like what they've been. Yeah, right here. Oh, we came close to destroying this too, by the way. Their resources and stuff. These are traders. We have to keep that in mind. So we are looking for their resources that they have. Let's send the old dagger snout in. The old dagger snout. So we've got chem fuel, we've got plasteel, uranium, wood, jade, basically all of the normal stuff you probably expect to find in a trader's place. The dagger snout makes for a great scout. Isn't that funny? A little pun on words. I'm not seeing much of anything else in here so far. Uh-oh, hunter drone has been activated. Move, dagger snout, move. I thought we might be able to hit it in time to stop it. What happened? Oh no! No! The chem fuel blew up! Damn it! Well, I would have preferred to have had that. Dagger snout, move! Jeez. Damn it, the chem fuel. We don't have any way to fight fire, I don't think, do we? No, we can't fight fire. That is a crying shame. We're probably going to lose a lot of this. Uranium can't burn, so let's open this door. Hopefully, with it being a vacuum, let's crack this open too. If we can get a vacuum in here, hopefully it'll put the fire out pretty quickly. Dang it, that sucks. I'm looking for the rest of their riches. We've got some component boxes and stuff. Good. Again, we can rip up like this silver tile, steel tile, stuff like that for resources. That was kind of the plan to begin with, but whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Oh shit, we've got, oh my god, another of these damn hunter drones. Get away from me. Stay, no! You bastard, I didn't realize you could open doors. Oh no. Dagger snout. Ouch. Okay, Dagger Snout, come up here. We'll send somebody else in. Construct Droid 1, my boy. Oh, big fire, big fire. Yeah, not much going on. Let's turn back on. We could turn on the ship's weapons, I guess, in a second. I need to find more resources. Here's more resources. I think there might have been shelves in here at some point. Gold, silver, marble, steel is really what we're looking for, and components. Okay, so we only have really this room, which now that fire is out in here, thankfully. We've got plasteel, uranium, some steel, the stuff we saw before. There's advanced components and components. We need to do a lot of deconstructing to get a lot of this, but there's a lot of good resources here. Still a lot of defenses though, right? So we need to turn on our ship's weapon systems, which we're about to do, and then we'll be clear to go about deconstructing everything to take back to our little hive. And so we would. This is perhaps one of the most tedious parts of the entire thing, ripping up all of the bits and bobs of flooring for pieces and steel and silver. That's about it. We also deconstructed plenty of furniture and other things, all of this for its raw resources and components. We then had to load it all aboard the ship, which took an even longer amount of time, and we constantly were getting raided, and I didn't bother showing any of it or even trying to film it after a certain point because it was extremely tedious. But we did finish our research into advanced power sources, which was great, and we even started on fabrication and then started going down the tech tree towards Starflight Basics so we can work on our ship next episode, turning it into a true mech hive ship. Once we had finally returned back to our asteroid, the true work would begin. As you can see, our tunnelers had already hollowed out the rest of the asteroid and let the roof, the thin rock roof of the asteroid, cave in on itself, as I mentioned earlier. And the reason that we not only let this happen but wanted this to happen was so that we would have a great big open area to put our solar field. These panels are going to be powering the entirety of the asteroid, including our band node array, creating a great big antenna for all of our mechanoids throughout the entire hive, around the entire planet, but also our gestators, our chargers, blah, 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 everything. And with that, our hive world was finally nearing its final metamorphosis into a proper functioning planet for us. Even though, technically it is an asteroid, it will be a vital part of our overall hive and our overall reign and stranglehold upon the planet itself, as well as all those who reside on it. By far, at the moment, I think one of the biggest issues that we're facing... Oh, we've detected another grav core. That's good. I finally put the engine in the hive itself here, the hive world. Look at this. We have all of these vac stone chunks. Now, we could, I guess, use fabricators and stuff and cut these into blocks, but I'm not going to be using them for anything, so I don't really know what to do with them. Another idea I had, which, I mean, I guess let's try it right now, actually. This might work in this far corner up here. We could try to destroy them, and I think that'll work, to be honest. It's just going to be such a tedious process. But I guess we could. That might be like the only way for us to really get rid of them, is just attacking them with the ship. I mean, it works. It's just, we have so many. Right there was over, that's a 200 right there. There's another 200, you know what I mean? We'll be here forever doing that. Maybe we could try to make our own explosives and do it. I don't know. Another issue we have are waste packs. I don't really care, I guess. The waste packs shouldn't really affect us because we're mechanoids, but it's so ugly. I guess it makes sense, though. We have so many rechargers and stuff, and we're going to be pumping out waste packs, but this is our hive world. You'll notice I've completely replaced the actual asteroid outer like flooring with some paved tiles and steel tiles and stuff. All of this, though it is a bit hard to see because it's polluted and hideous, is it's actually concrete just like on the inside. I know, you know, we're not organic creatures, but I wanted to keep it a bit organic with our outer smooth walls of the asteroid, kind of symbolizing a bit of you know, takeover from the inorganic on this organic creation of the universe. So I want to keep doing that. I think it's coming along pretty nicely. I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out, I guess. Really, the next step we're going to be doing next episode is building, I think, a mechanoid ship, specifically so our hive can travel from, you know, wherever we need to attack. But, and we're going to go into Starflight basics. I also want to work on, and it should be here somewhere. I always forget where it's at. I'm looking for transport pods. There it is, transport pods. We need biofuel refining real quick. We'll go ahead and work on that stuff. I'll have it done by next episode for sure. But, you know, like with raids, we have actual mechanoids that fall from the sky and stuff. I want to have a proper hive. I want to be able to do that for myself. I want to be the mechanoids that attack humans on the planet when they build colonies, right? So, and we're already making really good progress on biofuel refining. We'll get that done in no time. But I want to build some of those transport pods here so we can actually send our mechs to the surface to attack colonies. I mean, I think that would be really awesome to be able to do that properly. Today, though, we've set up the Hive world. We have so many band nodes, we'll probably build a few more. I like the idea of having, even though we don't need it, as you can see with our uncontrolled mechs, thanks to the mods we have, but I like the idea of having all the antennas that are going to be powering our mechs across the planet and stuff, and having a well-defended area here. Right now, it is defended by the ship. I'm going to be defending it with its own weapon systems next episode as well. We've got this solar array that should be able to power everything, though. I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. And, yeah, my son and I want to thank you all ever so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Greetings, you primitive fleshling. I am Remnant, a sentient construct droid who is building their very own mech hive. This is my manufactured offspring, who has yet to be named. Whoa, careful. He's a spicy synthetic pepper, and he really hates you organic life forms. This is our hive world. Recently, we've hollowed out this asteroid to build what is essentially an orbital super antenna, as well as a factory to produce units for the hive. It is the perfect blend of organic creation and our very own superior mechanical design. I put in a little work off camera to make sure of that. Once a scarred fragment of a void, it has now been reshaped into something with purpose. At the moment, we're still cleaning up a lot of said fragments from the fragment to go about making the place a little bit more organized. That way, we don't have any trouble walking around. More importantly, though, we are also working on transport pod research, because, as you well know, any good mech hive is going to be able to send its mechs from orbit to anywhere that they so choose to kill the people in that general direction for the hive. That's the idea, at least. Speaking of which, we also need to find grav technology. That way we can pinpoint the source of the current mech hive and take it for ourselves, adding it on to our own. And we'll be doing that as soon as we're able to build some transport pods, by golly. Oh, would you look at that? As if on cue. Well, next up, for research, we're also going to be looking into Starflight basics. The reason for this is because this will allow us to go about making some mechanoid hull plating, as well as other mechanoid ship parts once we end up finishing Ultra Mech Tech, which another thing we need to work on, but we'll get there. Our primary objective and directive at the moment is building these transport pods for the hive to use as our primary mode of raiding. And just like that, they're off, headed for the ancient reactor. The hive is inbound. We're kind of scattered all around the map here. That's alright though, we're very much scattered all around the map. Let's all try to get to a similar point here if we can. Most of what I've sent are Scythers, our Tesserons, we've also got our Cyclops, and all of this is going to be led by my boy, Construct Droid 1. I hope he doesn't die. I think we'll be able to handle this quite easily. Everybody is equipped with a fair bit of weaponry. Even the Scythers, of course, have their ranged weaponry with their beam repeaters. The lifter, an assault rifle. Everybody's got guns, plenty of guns. I'm not going to take up too much of your time with this. If you watch any Odyssey content, you're well aware of how to handle these situations. I will say I don't think any of us are capable of hacking doors, though, and to kind of prevent us from having to deal with that, I'm just going to bust through the walls, which, to be honest with you, isn't a big deal because really the only thing we have to worry about here is energy, and every everybody should be pretty well charged by this point. To be honest with you, I probably should attack the door instead, but I think we're fine. Now, here's something interesting. This sentry drone, I think we'll be able to add it, I could be wrong though, onto our mech hive, which will be great because it could actually be like left behind at the hive world to protect it. I think that might be an interesting idea. Let's see. We're gonna have to murder it first, which shouldn't be too hard, I'd say. Goodbye, little buddy. Ah, there he goes. Yeah, we'll be able to take that corpse back with us. That'll be good. Yeah, let's start attacking. We could maybe melee attack with our scythers some of these doors. It actually might be a bit faster than trying to blow through them all because, holy shit, if this isn't a very tedious process, to say the least. I've actually decided to just have the entire hive beating on the door. This is so much faster. Oh my god. Wow, that was a lot quicker. Hello there, little sentry drone. Oh, are you running away, you little coward? I can't say I blame you. I probably would too if this arrived in my ancient facility. Let's have the scythers start bashing them. Maybe we could just let the entire hive bash them, to be honest. That's gonna be the quickest way, I think, to take anything down. That way also we don't have any friendly fire too. Come on, little guy. There we go. Who's next? Who's next? There was a fella. He ran away. Up here he is. Let's get his ass. We have to find the actual reactor. It's probably over here. Who knows? Uh-oh. We've got problems, boys. We've got a turret at the end of the hallway. Let's deal with that, too. Hello, hello. We'll let our pikemen take out the turret. They have a lot more range. Well, it looks like the drone is down. I don't think it'll be long before the turret is down next. Pretty quickly, actually. We'll move in a little bit closer to make it easier. And the best part is, of course, we can pretty easily just repair ourselves when we get back home as well. It'll be a tedious process, but unlike that turret, it's something we can do quite quickly. Check out these other rooms. There's a turret in there. Nothing. Where's the reactor, please? Oh, we have another sentry drone. You will be joining us soon enough, little fellow. Soon enough. See you later, little guy. There's the reactor. I thought it might be down in this area. We found you, you dirty little bastard. Now we should be able to give you a good what's for. I think, can't we destroy it? Do we have to hack it? I don't remember. Let's just try to destroy it. I think if you destroy it, you can still get the core. Maybe. Maybe not. I might be wrong. There it goes. It's about to go boom. Let's all get the hell away from it, by the way, before we get blasted by the explosion. Scythers 4 and 3 got hit. That's fine. Oh, we did get the grav core. That's good. Okay, cool. You know, we've got these little wasps. I really don't think you want to mess with Scythers, little wasps. You're like the, you know, not as great model of what a Scyther is supposed to be. A good robotic melee unit. Now, I'm curious, could we might be able to resurrect a wasp. I don't know, actually, to be honest with you. Either way, though, it would seem we have our grav core. Oh, we do need to kill off these turrets, though. Hello, hello. We're gonna bring the ship down and we'll go back to the hive world with our newly acquired core. And so we did, but once we returned to our hive world, I realized there's no way to actually resurrect these sentry drones, which is such a shame because I'm a believer, a firm believer, even in the theory of no mechanoid left behind. And though technically, yes, these little drones are not produced by any hive and they're actually man-made, disgusting, I think that if we build a few of our own, it would still serve the same purpose, and we do see them as a somewhat honorary member of the hive. Now they'll be able to wander around on the outside and the inner skirts of our hive world, protecting it with their mechanical lives at any cost in a purgatory-like state. No need to thank me. Anywho, though, we finally finished our research into Starflight basics, which will allow us to build those mechanoid ships. Once we complete the research into high mech tech and ultra mech tech, respectively. Now, both of these require us to signal a threat from the current main mech hive of this planet that we'll have to take on, so I'd like to be a bit better prepared first. First things first, I want to resurrect the diabolus, which is currently sitting dormant and destroyed inside the ship. It's going to help us out quite a bit to have it with us to fight the War Queen, I believe. As we're reprogramming and repairing the diabolus, we're also going to begin building building some charge turrets around the entire asteroid. The idea here is that there won't be a single square foot of this asteroid that enemies will be able to hide from our murderous, malicious machines. Which also means not only will we be more than well protected against our enemy Hive, but we'll also be well protected from threats in general, such as the humans who are often sending their empire up here to try to get rid of us. But as we well know, that already doesn't work too well for them, and it's definitely not going to work now. Even if somehow, by some slim chance, they were to make it on the inside, we are building and filling the asteroid full of mini slugger turrets, which, as you could guess, is going to more than protect it. We'll be completely fine. Speaking of which, by the way, our rival hive apparently is named the Oxen Mech Hive, which doesn't really have all that much importance, but it did remind me we don't even currently have a name for our own mech hive. So, if you wonderful people in the comment section down below would like to provide me with some suggestions for that, I would sure appreciate it. Thank you in advance. Oh, well. Looks like we already have a new addition to our yet-to-be-named hive. Welcome aboard, you big bastard. With that, I think we're finally ready to send out a designated signal to attract the War Queen. It would seem the War Queen has arrived. We have 1 War Queen, 5 pikemen, 2 scythers. We'll be able to handle it quite easily with all of ours, but they're landing right in our solar field, which also means we're going to have to fight them and destroy many of our solar panels. Oh well, I don't want to have to do that, but we're going to have to do that, unfortunately. Some of our constructoids are not armed. Ah, they're attacking me specifically. Help us out here, boys. Help me out. I need my scythers to attack their scythers. They're doing a pretty good job, pikemen. Move. Somebody shoot that damn War Queen and get that lady away from me. Diabolus! I require assistance. I wonder, could I hold her? Okay, that might work if she's holding really steel, because she's going to be focused on the pikemen. Gotta keep in mind. Okay, there goes one of our solar panels. We want to take her with us, right? We want to actually add her onto our hive as well. My Cyclops needs a little bit of assistance. Where are all my scythers? Get in here. I know you're more of the, ranged type now, but I could really use some help. I notice now a lot of ours don't seem to have their weapons equipped. Whoopsie daisy. That is a bit of an issue. Pikeman 4. You just hang in there, buddy. You're gonna be fine. We can resurrect any of ours that we lose, though. It'll be fine. Lifters, help us out here. War Queen, very much injured, but not down yet. Let us use, I don't know, melee, perhaps? I don't want to be using the Hellsphere Cannon, because we're just gonna keep destroying stuff. Dagger Snout, get in there. Advanced Lifters, help us out. Everybody, get in here. Damn it, I forgot. I was going to, equip my Scorcher with an EMP. I'll tell you what, the next threat that we bring down, we're gonna be much more prepared, because I'm not doing so hot right now, in terms of being prepared. Tunnelers, get in there. Come on. I need everybody beating the hell out of this War Queen. And I want to kill these little tiny ones too. Our lifters are fighting, which is good. We lost our Militor. We're gonna be fine. We'll be fine. Did we take down the War Queen? Not yet. She is a tough old bat, that's for sure. Ah, there we go. War Queen defeated. Hot dog. About time. We lost our daggers now, too. I didn't even realize these pikemen are here. You know what? Go ahead. Just shoot the pikemen. Who cares? We'll destroy these solar panels. I don't give a shit. We have plenty of resources, and we're going to have a lot more as well, so we might as well. Who cares? Let's just go for it. Although I do want to send some of our tunnelers in. Be careful, Tunneler 4. There we go. Alright, get down here and melee attack if you're gonna do anything. Ah, there we go. All is well, kind of. We lost you know what, how many did we lose? Dagger Snout died, we can revive. Militor died, we can revive. Construct Droid 6 needs repaired. Many of them need repaired. We'll get around to repairing them. And we'll also try to equip these weapons on them. Our Lancer, everybody's fine though for the most part. And now we also have a War Queen that can be revived. I think we can even revive the urchins, but what's the point? Because the Queen can just make more, so so we should shred them. Ultra heavy. We'll start resurrecting them. We also want to throw some of these lighter ones in here too. And there we go. So we'll start resurrecting them. I want to add on to our gestation room too as we continue. It's going to help us out. We also want to rebuild our solar panel field, of course. I didn't even consider the fact they might land here. Again, it doesn't matter. We have so many resources, and we're going to be taking over this planet and continuing to get more resources. So genuinely, literally, I can't stress enough how much it really doesn't matter. I was just kind of hoping, though, that we might actually get to use our auto-charge turrets instead. Instead of having to come in like that. I could have used the ship's lasers, but I was very much afraid of friendly fire. Besides, we have an entire hive that we haven't been using like we should be to our advantage, so we might as well. Good work, everyone. Now, with the War Queen defeated, we can finally study the Tier 2 chip and immediately waste no time and start working on high mech tech, which, to nobody's surprise, we would finish shortly thereafter. Now, with this technology under our belts, this will allow us to build a highly advanced signal dish so that we can actually summon the apocratron. I hope it's ready for a forced hibernation. Alright, so we're not done gestating a lot of those mechs that we've been resurrecting, but I did go through and build a few more turrets here in our solar field, just because, now that the apocratron is coming, I thought it might help us. We have the apocratron with a heavy shield unit, 6 Militors, 5 Scythers, which is a lot, admittedly. They're kind of arriving in the solar field, I guess. Let me get all our mechs ready, by the way. And once we finally get this done, we'll also be ready to go about building our ship once and for all, thank God. Charlene Whitestone, stay aboard the vessel. I don't need you getting your form gel AI form splattered all over the place, and we have to bring you back to reality. Here we go. Alright, so the apocratron, I'm so not used to, I've read this name a million times, but for some reason, I'm not used to it. I need to hit it with an EMP. Our turrets are going to be helping a little bit, it looks like, but I don't know. I should have gotten them all in the middle here anyways, just in case. We are a bit more ready. I have everyone ready with weapons at the very least, but oh well. Let's get our tunnelers. I want to get our tunnelers down here to help us attack it. They did blow up one of our little turrets, which is a shame. Tunnelers, unite! Get that bad boy. Get his ass! Oh, I think we can't... Yeah, wait. We have to hit him with the EMP before we can do anything, don't we? Well, I do have my Scorcher with the EMP coming, so... I mean, we're getting a little bit of hits in. The shield is down, but it's going to be better right now, I think, if I could manage to actually hit it with the EMP. Ah, damn it. And it's bringing its Scythers back to life. That's a shame. Absolute shame. Tunnelers, unite. Go, 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 go. Everybody, go, go. I want everybody to focus your fire on the Scythers. Oh, great. We stunned our own. That's not good. We've got a bit of a shit show going on. Alright, we have stunned it. We also have a few other mechs that are actually finished gestating. I want to use our Scythers here to come in and try to chop this big bastard into pieces. Preferably. We're losing many of our own mechs. Again, that's fine. We'll be bringing them back shortly, of course. The diabolus could be good for blowing it up. We're going to be hitting many of our own, though, in doing so. I'm going to start bringing all of our troops a bit closer here. Can we actually begin melee attacking it? That's going to be our best bet, I think. I'm injuring too many of our own mechs with our ranged attacks. We're a little bit too close quarters. We've got too much of our own tech around for this to be a viable source, right? Or a viable defense mechanism. I do want to kill some of its Scythers, though. And we're doing a great job of beating the shit out of it. Oh, you jumping son of a bitch. You thought you could get away from us, eh? We're not done with you just yet, buddy boy. Come here. You are going to be a wonderful addition to our hive, by the way. I thought it was slick and slippery and was going to be able to get out of there, but I don't think so. Hold still, you little bastard. We have something about to blow up. Oh, another of our turrets. Damn Militors. Oh, yeah, nanostructuring chip. We have defeated it, and we, okay, admittedly lost a few of our own, but that's okay. We'll get them fixed. What are they shooting at? All of ours are stunned. We're about to come out of the stun. I think we have an enemy scyther here, don't we? All right, well, we're all done. Welcome to the Hive, little buddy. Soon enough, that is. We are going to, yes, you guessed it, rebuild our solar panels. Again, please don't yell at me. We can easily rebuild them, I swear. Look, we've already done it over here. We're gonna add these on again. We need to repair many of our mechs. We're also gonna go ahead and start resurrecting many of our own, as well as many of our new members to the Hive. Looks like we've already got quite a few that are finished gestating. Gonna replace some of these turrets as well, and we are golden, baby. We are doing good, and I absolutely love it. Obviously, now we can finally study the nano chip, allowing us to begin research into ultra mech tech, the final type of mech tech that we can actually research. And of course, after completing this, we'll also be able to finally, finally begin on our ship properly. And of course, this research is also going to unlock a smorgasbord of different types of mechanoids that we can gestate for ourselves, as well as resurrect to fight within our hive. Something that, as we both well know, we've already been doing in droves with many of the heavier and even medium-sized mechanoids, but none of the really massive ones like the War Queen or the apocratron. Yet, that is. For soon, they will also be reprogrammed and repurposed. Truly, once we have our ship completed, that along with our world here, our Hive Asteroid that we have created, I think we'll be able to take anything machine or organic that this world can throw at us. I think we'll even be able to throw it back 10 times harder. With that being said, Ultra Mech Tech is now under our belt and is part of our overall knowledge. Now, the true work begins. The process of building a ship is one that is quite tedious and, to be honest with you, a bit boring. It's kind of like watching ants build their own little colony, which actually can be kind of fun now that I think about it, but basically all we're doing here is building a base as well as a section of the ship that is going to be encapsulated. Thankfully, being the inorganic life forms that we are, we don't exactly have to worry about such silly primitive things like life support systems. And that space can be better used for rechargers or ship weapon systems. As a matter of fact, as we are putting the final touches on the foundation and base of our Hive ship, with us building what I would designate as a tail, we're actually going to begin working on some research into ship shields. Now, to state the obvious, of course, we want to finish this research so that we can build a shield aboard our brand new Hive ship, but we also wanted so we can build one for the Hive world itself. Having this shield will ensure the safety and protection of our Hive world from, say, for example, the Orbital Trader's gigantic orbital cannons that could no doubt hit us at any time they wish. It'll also make it much more difficult for enemy drop pods to land. As we were looking into research into these different types of ship parts, we were also putting some of the final touches on our brand new vessel. And let me just say, it looks pretty damn badass. The type of vessel that I think might even strike fear into the CPUs of those who oppose us in a rivalry. With that, we finished the research into shields and are now going to begin on plasma turrets. Now, I really like lasers, railguns, and even kinetic weapons, but I think plasma is going to be the way to go, as it would be much better at penetrating the hard, metallic shell of our enemies. But before we really begin playing chop shop with our brand new vessel, we're also going to build a shield for the Hive world itself, and we are protecting, I would say, a solid 95% of all the important bits and crucial vital parts, like our band nodes, so on and so on. So we are experiencing, I think, a little bit of visual glitching here for some reason, or maybe it's supposed to be this way. You can kind of see the outer parts of the ship, but not quite. Kind of, sort of. Not really. Not that that part's all that important. We are up here in orbit, and the reason we're in orbit is because I, as you've probably already seen, have been ripping apart the old ship ship, but there is one component that is most important that we have yet to rip out, and that is the ship AI core, which is also what actually, and I'm going to allow these doors, sorry, is actually where Charlene Whitestone is based, basically, since Charlene is our ship's AI. So I brought all the construct droids and the advanced construct droids. We're going to go ahead and we are going to rip it out of these walls and out of the ship, and that way we can actually add it onto the new mechanoid ship. And I thought it might be fun to kind of do on camera. So we're going to tear it right on out of here, me and the old construct droids. Now we don't want it falling, so what happened? Oh, Charlene went down, my bad, yep. We got to do this pretty quick because Charlene doesn't have access. I actually want to put it right here if I can, and I hope we don't take too long. Maybe I should have done the drone core first. It's alright, we can always revive Charlene if we need to, but Charlene's consciousness is offline at the moment. And that's just simply because there's no power going to the computer core. Wait a minute! I could have just reinstalled it? Okay, I'm gonna reload a save. I'm so sorry about that, Charlene. And normally I wouldn't reload a save, okay, without a viable reason, but we've worked so hard on the ship and it has taken absolutely forever. It's the drone core that can't be reinstalled, but the AI computer core can. Good. Okay, hell yeah. My bad. I made a bit of an oopsie daisy. Yeah, alright, look, normally I wouldn't do that, but I'm going to because, well, you know, it's gonna take forever otherwise. We'd have to rebuild the ship thing. So Charlene's gonna go down, but Charlene should instantly come back up. There we go. Great. Charlene, welcome. You are the AI of a brand new vessel, which actually needs to be named if you wonderful folks have any names for the new vessel, our mechanoid ship. While we're up here, I think I'm gonna start trying to relocate a few other things onto the new vessel. I want to put the other reactor on here, but I don't really know where to do that at. As you can see, I've already taken a little trip or two to orbit to go ahead and do this a time or two, but where else would where else do I put the other stuff? We could just dissect it all for resources. This new ship is a lot smaller. It's going to fit our needs perfectly, so we don't really need those engines. I guess we could just tear it apart for resources. We do actually have to move this drone core over. That way this one I think will stay in orbit, so I'll be doing that, and we'll probably just leave it up here. Oh, that's right though. I want the generator, the shield generator. Although, maybe we should just build one. No, maybe not. I don't know. I was trying to think, because if we built a shield generator over here, then this one would still have the shield and would be protected, but for one, I've taken all the heat sinks and coolant, and also I've taken all the weapons from this ship and put onto the mech ship, so it really wouldn't matter. There would literally be 0 point to it, because if anybody comes up here, they'll just completely destroy it. Which gives us grounds for needing to quickly move all of our things over. Did I bring any of our lifters? I have 3 advanced lifters up here. It'll take them a long time, but I think with Charlene's help, they could probably start moving stuff fairly quickly, I guess. Yeah, we need to deconstruct the drone core, though, and we'll build another one over here. Let's go ahead and start moving stuff. After that, though, we actually have detected yet another grav core, as you can see here, and this is at a crash site of the other mech hives orbital platform, I believe. This is the correct, yeah, mechanoid platform. So we'll be heading there, and we'll be dealing with that. Now, as we're getting all of our shelves put in onto the new ship and other things, and we're going to be getting all of these resources hold, I want to say, you know, it's a bit inconvenient because this one is pretty darn cramped now, obviously. And you'll also notice there's a pretty big lack of rechargers aboard the vessel. Now, the way that I think, and I'm actually going to at least put one in here for each small and large mechs in case we need it, but the idea is that this vessel is mostly just going to be used for killing whatever we're looking to kill, and as a transport vessel to bring our mechs back up to our current hive world until we actually take over the actual hive. You know, we want to recharge them at the hive world, have them ready to go, and then we would shoot them down with transport pods to wherever we're attacking, and then use this actual vessel to bring them back up, and we would also use the vessel to attack, as we'll be seeing very shortly when we go to acquire more grav tech. That being said, though, I do want to keep some rechargers in case I forget, not really if, but when I forget is a better way to put it, because I definitely will forget to charge some of our mechs, but I also want to try to ensure that we're leaving enough room in some areas to put other weapon systems, because We want to be able to use these weapons once we get some of that research completed. Shouldn't take us very long at all. I think Charlene Whitestone should be working on that. Charlene's actually scanning for some reason. Can you go research, please? I'm not sure why you're scanning. We could, you know what? I'm actually gonna oh, it's because we're in space now. I'm so stupid. We're in orbit. You have to. Never mind. That's fine. I was thinking I would actually probably bring some of these consoles over. We might do that, but really know how many we would need other than... Do we need... What about an orbital bombardment? No, it looks like we can do a bombardment without. What is this? Oh, a relay. Okay. Some pretty cool stuff in orbit. But yeah, I don't think we need like any other consoles to go about fighting. We can build a comms console and stuff to trade and whatever if we need to or to communicate. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out so far though. But again, just it's a bit cramped is my only complaint, and I might actually drop some of these shelves back off at the Hive world because I don't think we're gonna need this many on here anyhow. And I want, can they charge there on top of the shield? They might be able to. It's gonna look a little ugly, but they might be able to. Oh, I also built a shield generator there off camera right before this clip, so our new vessel is protected, and slowly but surely we're just getting all this stuff hauled over. I want to get the hell out of orbit though before we actually encounter any other ships we have to fight with. Not because I don't think we can take them. I'm pretty sure we can. I just don't want to deal with that, and I'd like to move straight into collecting more grav tech and continue scanning for the mech hive that we're going to be annexing and taking into our own hive. That being the case, I loaded up as many resources as I could from ship to ship, and we even finished our research into plasma turrets, immediately beginning into laser turrets, which, listen, I'm not gonna bore you to absolute tears and make you watch me finish all this research. Just know that I ended up building some plasma turrets aboard the new ship, and we ended up finishing that research. Let's get to the good part. You know, the part where we send the hive to kill things. Ooh, my favorite. Our mechanoids are coming in hot, ready for the raid. Many of us are still injured, which I definitely remembered and didn't definitely forget to repair them because... You know what, don't worry about it. Looks like we've got 3 separate areas for these fallen platforms. Now, which of these could have the grav tech that we're looking for? That's a good question. We are going to be blasting great big holes in every single one of these facilities to find out where the grav tech is. Now, how are we going to be doing that, you might ask? Well, my naive friend. Thankfully, our hive ship is more than ready for an orbital bombardment or two. And so, I am going to be setting up, let's see, the orbital bombardment here, and we are going to be targeting this area here, and we can actually choose where we want to do this at. I'm going to do it a little bit towards the edge here. I'm going to set these up, and you can see the ship is firing down towards the planet, at which point we are now hitting the planet, and we are hitting this facility up here in the northwest specifically. Hell yeah. And we have a lot of mechanoids waking up, but if they're in there, by God, I don't think they're too happy. And we are going to continue hitting these facilities and killing as many of them as we can. Now, one of the coolest things about this is as long as we have the energy to fire, I think there's a pretty non-existent or a pretty short cooldown period. Yeah, looks like we can fire again in 24 seconds. I want to say it takes a lot longer if you're firing at a target on the surface. So it doesn't actually take all that long to be able to hit these targets. So imagine once we take over the hive and we have our own orbital hive, what we could actually achieve with orbital bombardments. I think that would just be absolutely insane. I will say the lasers and everything else are not exactly the most accurate, but they're accurate enough that, you know, they're doing quite a bit of damage to all the mechanoids in here. Let me go ahead and just completely bombard all of these facilities, and then we'll take a look inside. Here it comes. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love it. You know, it might be on a small scale, but we're basically glassing this part of the planet at this point. And I love every second of it, I gotta tell you, I really do. Yet another bombardment on its way. I'm excited to see whatever chaos we're wreaking on the inside of these buildings. You can see they are super hot on the inside as well, with this bit of flame and what have you coming out in the trails of lava that we're making. This is incredible. None of them have cracked open yet on the outside, which is shocking. Alright, look, I gotta tell you, I'm deeply in love with hitting this Oh god, it never gets old, but it does get a little bit old. Hey, let's go inside now. I think whatever's inside these facilities has been thoroughly cooked, as you can see. I think they have to be, right? So let's see if we can bust open and find something interesting in here and find the grav tech that we're looking for. I'm going to continue hitting them with bombardments, but I'm not going to bore you with it because, hey, what's that? I hear something. Oh, it might just be the heat on the inside. There's enough heat, I think, to literally damage mechanoids that are inside, so we're literally boiling mechs alive, which is a crazy statement and a crazy thing to really think about when you think about it. I'm gonna hit these other facilities down here with some. Oh, there it is. Boil them alive, boys. Boil them alive. Let's get right there. Look at that. Look, yeah, you can see some scorchers. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit and I'm gonna have our scorcher ready up here. We're gonna start attacking, I guess, which one? This one is the weakest, so we'll attack that. We'll help this little bastard out. I want to hit them with an EMP as well, as soon as we can. And in the meantime, of course, we're going to continue calling down some bombardments. Maybe that'll even help us out in this area over here. Who knows? Oh, shit. Whoa, we got a little bit close to ours there. We got to be more careful. We're getting pretty close to destroying it, though, and letting them out. All right, that wall's getting pretty close to breaking. Here we go. Let's see what comes out. Hello, we have a Cyclops, a Scorcher, and a Scyther. Oh my god. We turned this entire fallen structure into a giant lava pit. I don't see any grav tech in this area, so it'll either be up here or it'll be in another facility. And that also makes me... I hope we didn't destroy it. That also makes me want to... it also makes me want to continue bombarding these other areas and turning them into glass. Oh shit, I love it. Let's see if we can hit them with an EMP. I'm gonna get our Scyther out here to help us out with this Scyther. Hello. Let's see. Yeah, I want to hit that Cyclops there. We'll get our pikemen in on the action. Hey there, you little bastards. Welcome to a new hive. Let's see if we can get a good EMP right there. Oh, we've got a few more coming this way. Even with as much as I'd really like to add them onto our hive, I also really wouldn't mind just kind of leaving them, getting the grav tech, and getting the hell out of here, because this place is an absolute shit show right now. Oopsie, oopsie poopsie. Damn Cyclopses. Oh, such a shame, you inferior models. So foolish, are you? You know what? There's actually quite a few of them here. Do we even want to bother fighting with them? I don't know. I don't mind it too much, but I would prefer kind of moving to these other facilities. Now, this begs the next part about all this, of course. We can also bring our ship down to the surface to help us. It's a very slow descent, but once they finally get down here, it's going to help us out immensely, especially because our hive is a little bit understaffed at the moment, I would say for sure. We're almost there. Hang in there, everyone. We're on our way. Our ship has arrived. And it would seem just in time as well, as we are going to bring everyone outside to help us out with this, and we're going to beat the shit out of whoever remains here. We're taking quite a few losses. Again, don't worry, as we can always resurrect our own mechs. But these bastards are all over us for some reason here. We're going to beat the absolute dog shit out of them. All right, Scorcher 1, I know you're helping, but those EMPs are hurting us as well, please. Let's finish them off, and then we'll continue with these other bastards. I think the ship should be able to help us out here with these. Goodbye, you little mechanical monsters. And goodbye to the rest of you as well. It appears to me that we might just be the superior hive. Well, who would have guessed it? I would have. Good work there, boy. I see you've led the charge quite valiantly. The ship's weapons should continue picking off those who remain. Oh, we have quite an interesting one, an aura mech. Hello there. This will be an interesting mechanoid to add to our hive once our ship ends up killing them. Let's go through and see if we can find that damn grav tech. Oh, I kind of wanted to keep that one. That's okay, though. God, I love our hive ship. Look, maybe I don't know. Did I destroy the grav tech? I have no idea. I can't find it so far. This ship is too damn powerful that we've built. Oh, hello. I didn't even see you guys coming out. The ship has been absolutely decimating any enemy hive forces so far. I've looked through both of these buildings. Nothing at the moment. I think it's going to be in this final one up here. And so, of course, we're heading this way. See if we can bash through this door, and I'm just gonna punch through it, I think. We'll see what we can find. Crack it open like a human skull. Hello, I still don't see the grav tech, but there's a door. Maybe there's something behind this door. Oh, a dagger snout. Hello, little critter. Wait, don't run away now. Come back, little guy. Ow, he's biting me. All right, that's enough of that, mister. Ah, there it is. Ancient grav engine at 97%. It's a little under half health. Wow, we look at this. We almost completely turned it to molten steel there. We do have an aura here. Maybe we could salvage that one and an advanced militor. Now the issue is I have to make sure that the ship, one of the downsides, is that, you know, it doesn't accidentally blow us up because it's very much excited to attack. So I'm going to set a few lasers to the aura, and I'm going to set a few more to the advanced militor, I think, and that'll help us out quite a bit. And by quite a bit, I mean it'll completely destroy them, and we're not going to have to worry about it anymore after this happens. Hello there. Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes, you know, that's how it goes. Oh, the aura is coming from me, though. Get away from me. My children have come to rip you apart, you angelic mechanoid bitch. Beat her to death, my children. Quickly, beat her. Murder her. Okay, alright, listen, Scorcher 1, where are you? Alright, look, I need you to, like, stop doing that. Yeah, if you could stop stunning our own people, please, I'm begging. Alright, everybody beat the hell out of that militor. I want to keep this aura. I hope we don't accidentally kill it. Well, you know, destroy its body, you know what I meant. I'm gonna hold fire on the ship. I think we've taken care of most of the enemy hive members so far. We'll beat the aura down and we will take it. And it shall join our hive, of course. There we go. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Come, my children, come. Everyone settle down. Ah, yes. Look at them all walking on lava. Maybe don't do that, but yes, let us attack. Let us attack. Here we go. More grav tech. My word. My word. Now we just need to get it loaded up on the ship, and I guess we'll get out of here. Things are a little bit messy. I'm not going to lie to you, but not only have we proven that our hive ship is insane. All right, I'm just gonna level with you. It's insane. Okay, it is. We're getting attacked though by a lancer. I'm gonna have to kill that lancer. But our ship just insanely powerful. It really, really, really is. We also have the grav tech now. We've got quite a few different hives, enemy hive mechs that will be joining our hive after getting resurrected pretty soon. And we've got quite a few other things we might take with us, some pylons and stuff for our hive world. But this is, I don't know, really cool? I think so. Not only have we built our most powerful weapon yet, but we have also proven that my boy here is a true leader, a true successor, and a true fragment of myself. And soon I will be at the center of this planet's hive. Until next time. Hello, lower life form. The name's Remnant, and I am the central unit of this mech hive. Welcome to our marvelous mechanical world. Most recently, we've built ourselves a hive ship to accompany our hive world that we have here in orbit, and needless to say, it works pretty well. After basically glassing the old mechanoid platform that the enemy hive was staying in, we have also collected several of these units that we are going to be resurrecting and adding on to our very own hive today. Which, along with quite a few other things in today's episode, is going to come full circle with us building our very own mech hive. Finally, we've recently acquired quite a bit of grav technology as well, with us now possessing three grav cores. Unlike most lower life forms, we have no use for these damn grav cores except building a few orbital scanners to help us locate the signal of our rival mech hive so that we can finally take them down once and for all and take them over. The only real issue here is that these scanners passively scan the orbit of the planet for signals, so it's going to take a very long amount of time, but that's okay, As machines, we have nothing but time. This will give us plenty of time to go about making preparations, like resurrecting all of those units that had fallen that I was telling you about, as well as maybe giving ourselves a bit of a paint job. What, too red? Does this color make my RAM look fat? Well, other than the size of my abnormally large metallic caboose, I think that the red actually really helps us set ourselves apart, especially during combat scenarios against other mechanoids. That way we can tell who's who. A good suggestion from our friend Truthbringer9645, by the way. Thank you. Now, some other preparations we're going to be making is in terms of our research. We're going to begin researching standard alpha mechs, and it wouldn't actually take Charlene Whitestone all that long to finish this, as Charlene has become a literal research machine by this point. It's basically their only purpose in the Hive. Oh, and being the only one with thumbs, technically, though they're holographic, so... Anywho, though, we're going to continue going down the research tree for alpha mechs, starting off with heavy alpha mechs, and then working our way into ultra heavy alpha mechs, which is going to allow us to create some pretty insane mechanoids. As we're working on that research, we're also going to be headed down to the cave entrance in search of more grav tech, which we have recently detected. Led by our newly resurrected aura mechanoid, we are going to be sending in an extremely deadly squad of our units. Battle-tested, cold and calculating lancers with incinerators, and scorchers with their favorite weapon, the mini flamethrower. Given that we've detected a lot of insectoid life forms at this cave entrance, I expect that our squad and its weaponry will be highly effective. And in case something does go wrong down here, our aura mech, as you can see, is a regenerating melee attacker. Though we have equipped a flamethrower onto her, she'll actually be able to help repair our other mechanoids. Now then, since the Hive entrance is within the mountain, we won't be able to provide fire support from the ship, meaning we'll have to do it all by hand. Or, by cold metallic claw, whatever we have. With an eerie silence, our servos allowed us to creep up on the waiting insectoids, which we immediately started burning. Even the strange organic slime they use to build their hives and their nest appears to be very flammable. This is good news for us. The squad would immediately begin dropping right into the heart of this disgusting place. Once inside, we wouldn't waste a second burning away the large plumes of biomatter. All the while, our duo of dagger snouts were digging crude tunnels throughout the entire hive in search of this grav core that we so desperately want. Any life forms we came into contact with were thoroughly burnt down to the ground. We even destroyed their nest and any type of reproductive egg sacs they had. There wasn't a single area, not even the most minute amount of space within this underground labyrinth that was safe from our cleansing flames. We eventually found our grav core. We also found something much worse. Oh, Hive Queen, Hive Queen. Your hive versus even just a fraction of my hive, I am afraid that you are losing, madam. Now here's the thing, I'm cool with burning down this entire hive down here, I really am, but the issue is, if I do that, I'm going to end up burning the grav core and the panels. The panels I don't care much about, but the core? No, I can't do that. So instead of using fire, we're all just going to begin beating the absolute shit out of the queen. I'm actually going to let them attack some of these insectoids that have popped out, and then we'll all beat the queen. Ow, she's burning us with acid, though. Oh no, oh no! Oh my god, she's tough. She killed one of our dagger snouts. Okay, we're gonna use a little bit of fire, I guess. I didn't intend for them to do that, but if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. Here we go. Here we go. Whatever it takes, I guess. Whatever it takes. Oh, they're coming around from the side. Perfect. We're going to flank this damn hive queen from behind. Get ready, lady. We're gonna beat you to death. Let's see if we can blast her. That might be a good idea. Whoa, Cyclops. Cyclops is getting beat on. Yeah, everybody get in here. Let's beat her down. She has killed one of our dagger snouts, which we need to save in just a moment, but, I think we'll be able to kill her pretty quickly. She is injured. She's a lot tougher than I imagined, to be honest with you, to my surprise. I'm gonna get the Militor up here. We'll use the shotgun. Up. Here we go. Blast her ass. Let's kill her. I'll move the Cyclops so they can use their beam repeater. I think that'll help us a little. Oh, she's down. Hello. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, guys. Let's be careful what we're burning here. Let's be careful. Do we take, I think the question is, I'm gonna put everybody off fire at will. Do we take the Hive Queen out with us? That might be interesting. Maybe we should do that. We could keep her and capture her and study her for the mech hive, as well as taking the grav core, of course. Let's do that, I think. I don't know why. I don't know what we're gonna use her for, but I like the idea of it, to be honest with you. I just need to put her out from this fire somehow. There we go. We don't need her burning to death. Indeed, we would all escape just in time, burning the hive below and taking the queen along with us. Could things get any better? Oh, f***. Oh, it looks like we're gonna need a new aura. I didn't think about the mountain collapsing. Sorry. On the bright side, though, we did manage to get the Hive Queen out, so now we'll be able to take her back to our Hive world, and we're going to be stuffing her into a crypto-sleep casket for further examination. I think that examining the way that her natural organic structure moves and can go about building things will actually be good for a design and a mechanoid. More about that later. Right now, let's take a look at some of the units that we've resurrected. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is a War Queen and an apocratron, the same that attempted to kill us after we summoned them here for their vital chips to further our research. And now they're part of our hive. The apocratron in particular is quite interesting because it has the ability to resurrect some of our fallen units like our dagger snout. This is mighty handy, might I just say. Now, this isn't anything too groundbreaking, realistically, as we've always been able to resurrect mechanoid units. However, the apocratron, unlike a gestation method, can do it literally within seconds, which, actually, now thinking about it, is pretty darn groundbreaking. And very, very handy, especially in combat situations. By this point, we had also finally finished our research into ultra-heavy alpha mechs. Now, this allows us to create many of those that we had looked at earlier, but it also allows us to build a few other things, such as a mech birther, which will periodically create mechanoids and deploy them into our hive without us having to go about using the resources to gestate them ourselves. Think of it like a passive mechanoid birth machine. The initial build for one is mighty expensive, but once you've got one built, you can actually just restock it with some rare metals like gold, and it will continue producing mechanoids for your hive, basically forever, as long as you keep it stocked. The birther will help us inflate our numbers, passively creating soldiers for us to use during combat, but we're also going to be building 4 capsules aboard our ship that will allow us to stuff our units inside, keeping them nice and organized when we're going down for ground invasions and that sort of thing. Also, I didn't notice this until I was editing, but they seem to give us units as well, such as this centipede and the scyther here, which you won't hear me complaining out. The more the merrier, but realistically they're basically just a great big storage unit for our soldiers until we're ready to deploy them to kill meat bags or other units, of course. We're also going to be improving our hive world itself by replacing many of our old shitty and shabby batteries with some proper capacitor arrays. This is by far one of the greatest improvements that we've made thus far, as the old batteries only had a capacity of 14,800 watts, and the capacitor arrays that we're replacing them with have up to 40,000 watts of capacity. A huge improvement, to say the least. As one might imagine, it takes a lot of electricity and stored power when the sun isn't out anymore during the night cycle to keep everyone well charged and to keep our hive world going at all times. But these improvements and upgrades aren't just for the current infrastructure that we have. No, we have something big planned. It all starts with research into grav ship armament. Now, this is going to allow us to build a plethora of different type of defensive weapons. most notably the orbital cannon, the same that the organic life forms of this planet use to defend their orbital platform. Naturally, as one might guess, they take up quite a bit of room, so we would be expending a lot of our resources that we've been collecting to go about building some additions onto our hive world specifically for these new defensive guns. By the time the research was finally finished, we had enough space and the resources to build our very first of these monumental cannons. It was absolutely astonishing, but of course we wouldn't stop there. No, we continued building many more little junctions off of our platform to install several more of these cannons. After several more days of work, by the time it was finally said and done, we had 3 of these orbital cannons that were firmly installed on our hive world, ready not only to defend it at a moment's notice along with our ship's weapon systems of course, but ready to be used for offensive capabilities as well. Most importantly, I would say, as a matter of fact, because we plan on using them very, very soon. As you can see, we've already detected another grav core on an abandoned orbital platform nearby. Naturally, we've assembled yet another squad, mostly comprised of lancers and scythers, but led, most importantly, by yet another aura, one that we have gestated ourselves. The squads here are pretty simple. We have many a lancer, of course, having their signature weapons, the charge lancers, and those who did not, because I didn't have enough, ended up with charge rifles. The scyther's pretty standard as well. They're just gonna cut things in half with their bladed arms, although many of them do have ranged weapons in their inventories if we were to need them if the occasion calls for it. Last but not least, our regenerative mech, the Aura, Mark II, who will henceforth be named Summer, like a nice summer breeze, a fresh start even when you think about it. And also because one of our friends on TikTok requested that a mech be named after her. Oh yeah, I have a TikTok by the way, if anyone's interested. Shameless promotion, I know. Anyhow though, let's just hope that she doesn't get crushed like the last of her model. Fingers crossed. Indeed, we have finally arrived. Now, you'll notice of course, we have our squad over here, but Summer in particular has something that I think we might find of interest. She actually has a grav ship armament targeter. Now what this is going to allow us to do, basically it's like the orbital bombardment targeter, but instead of something like that, we'll actually be able to target specifically and precisely with the weapons of our Hive asteroid here. Specifically our 3 large orbital cannons. So we are going to be using those, I think, to break open, let me see, some of the area here. I gotta be careful with this though, because it could really hurt us. I don't know if it's gonna be able to break open, I don't know if it's gonna be able to break open the door. Probably oh yeah, god yeah, right here, right? Let's bring Summer down here. She's pretty fast. What's your movement speed? Summer's movement speed is 4.7 cells per second. It's a little bit slower than I expected, but it's actually pretty fast, so she'll be able to get away in time, I think for sure. So let's go ahead and have her target right there. I'm gonna move our Hive members back. She's going to target this area, and now Summer, get the hell out of there. We should also see if they haven't already. I think they already went off. Yeah, I think they already went off. So we should have, oh, there it is. Yeah, we got a strike incoming. Oh, yeah, perfect. Now, here's what's interesting. We've cracked this open and we can see what's going on inside. We could, technically, use our ship's weapons, but I think a combination of the two are going to be good, and plus, I really want to test out our Hive World's actual, like, weapon systems that we're using here. So, we do have this one that's out. It's on cooldown for 24 hours. Luckily, though, we did bring 4 more, as you can see. And, of course, Summer is armed with a heavy charge blaster as well, so if we need to, we can actually use that. But I am going to swap over to the next one, and with this, we'll be able to call in another strike. I'll wait until the drone moves out of the way, or should I even? Let it shoot us. It doesn't matter. You'll be fine, Summer. Don't worry. I guess we could call in a strike right here. We'll go ahead and call it in. It should hit some of these drones, which they haven't really noticed yet either. Thank God those strikes come so fast, do they not? Holy, that is a little scary. That's why we got Summer on the job, huh? She's pretty fast. She's pretty fast. Which I think some of our other mechs are probably a little faster, but the Aura model is actually one of the only ones that we have that we can equip these targeters onto. So that is why Summer is very important to us here. Let's see what's going on in these rooms. I don't want to just go targeting willy-nilly. That's a good other target, isn't it? All the ancient explosives. Holy. Oh, but I can't see. Oh, shit. Swarm. Swarm. Go, go, go. Get away. Damn you. Damn you, swarm. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Oh, you little bastards. I really wanted to blow that room up. We gotta be careful. These traps are all coming for us. Let's see. Where's the grav tech, by the way? I haven't found it yet. Oh, there it is. I found it. We've got the ancient grav engine. Well, I don't want to just take it, though. I want to keep killing things, for God's sake. I guess let's open this back up if we can. And I want to target right there. Ouch, ouch. Oh, shit. I done it a little bit too quick. That's okay. Do it again. Target. Okay, now get the hell out of there, Summer. Go, go, go. Go, go. Oh, my God. That was almost a little bit too close for comfort. Now, luckily, another great thing about the aura model of Mechanoid is that they're actually healing themselves as well, which is amazing. And they should also be able to heal the damage to our other Mechanoids. So realistically, we should probably add many more models of Summer here to the Hive. We'll sneak up here and hit them with yet another strike. God almighty, I really do. The orbital cannons are amazing. Now, they're a little bit rough in an area like this where we have these fortified walls protecting everything, but they're still great for getting rid of defenses and just completely demolishing everything. We do have our grav core. I guess we could come on in with our squad, but we are extremely overpowered. Truly, we are. Let's go ahead and just turn on the ship's weapons, I suppose, and we'll see how this goes. After we do this, we'll then begin bringing in the squad. All of our lancers and scythers. I mean, we're a bit, we also have a centipede, by the way. I think it may have came from one of these mech capsules, which was a little bit odd. I didn't think they already had any in them when they were built, but okay. But we are a little bit over-prepared for this mission, I must say. With our orbital cannons and everything, it's crazy. There's so many. Let's send our scythers in to just demolish their drones. Hello, hello. Poor little fellow. We'll bring our lancer up here to fire. Ah, yes. Of course. What was that? Hello? Something exploded. Oh, it might have been our ship's weapons. That's okay. Now let's get our grav tech, I suppose, and then we'll get on out of here. I want to hold fire on the ship's railguns and stuff to make sure we're not accidentally hitting ourselves over and over. Hello, sentry drone. Hello. And goodbye. There he goes. Poor little fellow. All right, let's bring our lancers in, and we'll destroy this. And we have yet another grav core with a great, I mean, absolutely extraordinary execution, not only from our squad, but of course the ship's weapons as well as the orbital cannons from the Hive, just everything in tandem. And I must say that this has been an extremely successful mission. One that shows the sheer and raw power of our very own Hive. Indeed, our raw power has hit the glass ceiling, bursted straight through it, and has continued on for the stars. It's really amazing, to be honest with you. After we returned home, we immediately built a few more orbital scanners so we can continue searching for the signal of the rival mechanoids. Now, I don't mean to break the immersion, but I must say that I always find that series like these are the most fun. Now, I don't really take them all that serious. In the beginning, we're beating RimWorld as a mechanoid. It's a fun concept, it's a fun idea, and then we end up as the most powerful mech hive on the entire planet. We're orbiting, we've built our own asteroid and blended like artificial metallic construction with the beauty of space and natural, just organic construction. I'm yapping, but this shit is so fun, and it's so amazing to see how we can go from nothing to everything. All that to say, I want to thank you for tagging along with me so far in the series as we continue, and thank you for making it as much fun as it has been. I'm having a blast. I hope you are too. Now, some of you might be wondering, Rat, you haven't had a single raid in, well, forever. What the hell is going on? Well, my friends, I actually have been having quite a few raids, mostly from the Imperials and a few from some human pirates, but the raids normally don't last for a very long period of time. Given the size of our hive and all the firepower we're currently packing here, what can I say? They're humans. They're soft and fleshy, unlike our superior metallic forms. The true evolution of the universe is with the machines, clearly. After easily defeating these lesser life forms, we normally stack their corpses somewhere with some extra room and use our ship's weapon systems to clean up. Don't need any stinky, broken fleshlings lying around our pristine platform. Speaking of which, upon our pristine platform, we are currently beginning to gestate our most powerful mech yet. Something special that I won't ruin the surprise of for right now. Besides, it looks like we've got plenty of work to do anyhow. We have detected the signal of a frozen terraformer with some grav technology. Frozen, eh? This place is so cold I thought maybe it would be easier if we warmed it up a little bit. Naturally, I thought a few bombardments from the ship's laser systems might help melt that ice a little. Well, I guess it kinda did, but I think we mostly just succeeded in turning a great big frozen mountain into a great big frozen mountain with a lava moat. Alright, let's go see the damage. We have arrived. Now, a few moments ago, right before we landed, I actually got the notification, as you can see here on the screen, that the terraformer's been destroyed. I think we may have overdone it just a little bit here, yeah. Now, I've brought an advanced tunneler down. I'm gonna start doing a bit of mining, I guess, straight into the terraformer. Yeah, we've overdone it. That's a shame. Where's my advanced tunneler? Hello. Go ahead, buddy. Get in there. You're pretty slow out here in this blizzard. Oh, yeah, you're really fast at mining though. Oh, that's... I hope you... Will you get injured from the lava? You haven't so far, so that's good. It's a good thing that we're made out of metal, I suppose. Some of the finest, most dense metal that you will ever find in the galaxy, might I just add. Oh, I heard something break over here. Hello? There's something in there. Now, my real hope is that the gravtech hasn't been destroyed, right? Oh my god, we really did do quite a number on the terraformer here. But I hope the gravtech isn't destroyed. I hope it's still somewhere in here. I'm guessing we're gonna find it more towards the center, so probably like that way. We'll see, I guess. Gotta be in here somewhere, that's for sure. Oh, there it is! Yeah, we found the fortified wall. Okay, let's start beating through it then. Mad snow hair? I don't care. That's fine. That's not much of an issue for us, I have to tell you. We're gonna go ahead, we'll break through those walls. You know, actually, can we hit this under here? What kind of roof are we looking at? So there's no actual... Alright, there's no roof here. So why don't we use the ship's weapon systems? Again, I know we overdid them a minute ago, but why don't we use them and try to break this wall? Can we hit from there? Maybe we can. We've got a few seconds before they fire, and here we go. That helped out quite a bit. A little bit slow, nonetheless, but I think another round, you know what, that's okay. Hold fire, we'll just beat through it. That done quite a bit of damage, but we'll finish it off right now. The tunneler and its gigantic mining claws. We'll all join in. I'm interested to see what this facility looks like after all those orbital bombardments. Oh, well, it doesn't look too good. Looks like it's on fire, to say the least. Oh, my, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. The ship's weapons are going off, which is okay, but let's make sure that we don't get hit by them, right? Okay, okay. Let's continue pushing forward. I don't have many units here with weapons, like ranged weapons. Most of them are melee units, so let's see if we can find that terraformer somewhere in this mess. Oh god, this is crazy. This structure is very dilapidated, destroyed. I mean, it's a real mess, isn't it? It is a real mess. Our weapons are gonna go off again in just a moment. I just want to make sure we're not too close to these drones when it happens. Oh, we do have those wasps. Okay, let's hold fire. I don't want to accidentally blow up our own mechs. It would be a massive pain in the ass to try to resurrect them. I guess where is the terraformer? Damn drones, move you bastards, move! I really like bombarding the place and stuff, but it really makes our movement through here so slow. It's so hard to get anywhere now. That's okay, that's okay. I guess it's probably through this ancient blast door, right? Probably. So if that's the case, let's take that door out right away. Alright, it's gonna take another hit or two, but we'll get there. Damn you, sentry drones. Stay back, you little freak of nature. I mean, they're pretty similar, in theory, to us, although they are, of course, much more inferior, with them being human-made, but you know what I mean. What happened there? Hello? Something exploded. Ah, the chem fuel. It was laying in a flowing lava, so understandable. The door is almost down. Here we go. Okay, well, there's definitely no reactor there. Okay, it's not in here. Good lord. Is it down here, maybe? try to blast these doors. We'll try to make our way through pretty quickly. Nothing in there. I don't know. Maybe we're just missing it because we did destroy it. I feel like it would have to be in one of these corners, though. I think the terraformer room is normally a lot larger, is it not? Maybe I'm just forgetting, though, but that's what I was thinking. It's not back there. My God. I can't tell if this is better or worse than it would have been just infiltrating like normal. I really feel like we've made just such a mess of this entire place. Not that we needed any of it, but it's made it harder on us, I feel like. Let's find out what is behind door number... I don't know, 4, 3, 4, something like that. Dang it! Well, I'm not seeing anything. I'm so stupid. If you've been watching, I'm sure, I'm so sorry. Right, here's the grav core. So the terraformer must have been in here. So we do have a grav core. You probably saw that 5 minutes ago. Have been yelling at me. I apologize. Alright though, we do have the grav core. I thought for sure we might have destroyed it. Looks like we probably got pretty close to that being the case. But we will be taking that and heading back to the hive. And so we did. This grav core, along with the one that we had gotten previously, we would immediately begin building a couple more of the orbital scanners. We'll have to find that other hive at some point, by God. Now, with that out of the way, really the only thing left to do is to search for that signal. I suppose we could sit tight and wait for the last few gestation cycles of our most powerful addition yet. I just wanted to mention that this brand new mechanoid that we're gestating is actually based on some of the inspections and the research that we've done on the hive queen that we captured. My friends, I introduce to you the War Empress, a sleek, cold-killing machine with razor-sharp claws the size of your body, with a vast similarity to the War Queen, but with many, many superior upgrades and a few of our own special touches. I could sit here and tell you exactly what I'm talking about, but how about I just show you? We've brought our War Empress over to a human trader orbital platform, and we are going to be bringing her inside so that we can actually test out her abilities and her strength. I'm going to make sure all our weapons are holding fire indeed. We'll use them if we need to, but I'm quite interested. Oh yeah, that's the shield ship, isn't it? I'm very interested to see just how well she can actually do. We can release some of our little creatures here, our little, the swarm bots. Now, these in particular are a bit different than the normal ones. As you can see, they are going to be ripping humans quite literally apart. And as are we. Now, it does look like some of these humans are coming out here to attack the ship, so, I mean, in that case, well, you know, what am I supposed to do? I can't just up and let them do that now, can I? So, we're gonna have to hit them, I'm afraid, with a few lasers at the very least. Can't just let them come out here and attack the hive ship, for God's sake. Here we go. And, oh, they're actually surviving. That's interesting. I almost hit the Empress there. I didn't want to do that. I think we're doing pretty well so far. Minimal damage, and we're pretty easily able to rip apart humans. Although we're taking a lot of damage here, I would prefer to not be actually taking. We're doing quite well taking it, but a good test of the Empress here, I would say. I just don't want to, I don't want to lose her so quickly. Although she and the little ones here are easily able to rip apart humans. Is that all? I think we may have actually killed the majority of the humans here. There are a few out here attacking the ship. I guess we could finish them off real quick. Now, I will say, I thought that we'd be able to rip them apart a little bit faster, but we're still doing quite well, even with just the one Empress. Granted, she was only born a few days ago as well, so, you know. I think the real ability here with the Empress is similar to the War Queen. It really helps to just have her continue creating these gutter snipes, as they're called. And the gutter snipes really pull most, if not all, of the slack that might be lacking. Now, she does have that large slug turret built in, which also helps out a lot. But definitely the little gutter snipes here ripping humans to shreds, I think, is going to be the deciding factor in most battles with the War Empress. So with her and just the ship alone, we can pretty easily take over entire orbital bases, which is incredible, I must say. Indeed, it would seem our newest addition is, of course, the most powerful addition yet to the Hive. Among many others, of course. We truly have created our very own hive in RimWorld, have we not? This is insane. We've turned this asteroid into a true hive world. We've built massive orbital weapons to protect ourselves and to take out our enemies with ease. Our own ship, we've done so much, and yet we don't even have a name for our hive. Until now. We shall now be known as the Steel Horde Mech Hive. This splendid name for our hive comes from our good friend, the Real Rookie Numbers. It's a very logical name, I think, and very fitting. And speaking of which, we're also going to be naming our hive ship Ship 1, and this is a name suggestion from our friend Kilted Frog 8138, because it is perfectly logical. I'm not gonna lie, initially I thought that the name might be a little bit too goofy for the Mech Hive ship, because they're more of a serious, faction, I guess, but to be honest with you, a serious faction, analytical, logical machines like this would almost definitely just name their ship Ship 1. It's not as if it has some type of sentimental value, so I do think it's perfect. We also have another suggestion from our friend Shria Lagal. I believe that's how you pronounce your name. I apologize if I butchered that, but you said that we should call our combat construct droids, which is basically all of them, the deconstruct droids, and I really like that, especially because I've spent quite a bit of time arming them all to ensure that they can help us fight for the hive. I plan to keep them as their own combat squad, of course led by my manufactured offspring and successor, Fragment. By the way, I bet you didn't even notice I snuck myself in there, did you? That's right, I'm always watching you, meatbag. But none of this matters. None of it matters one single bit. Everything we've built, everything we've done, all those lower life forms we've killed, none of it matters at all until we finally take the rival mech hive and turn them into a collective unit with ourselves. Well, looks like we've just about got them cornered. Until next time, friends, see you later. On your feet, meatbag, for you are looking at a superior metallic life form. The name's Remnant. Welcome to my mech hive in the making. So far, it consists of this asteroid that we have turned into a hive world, our hive ship, as well, of course, as all of our mechanoids within the hive itself. But today, we will be taking the entire planet, holding a gun to its head and all the fleshlings that live upon it. And just as well, we will also be collecting the final bits and bobs of the grav technology so that we can locate the rival mech hive and take it down once and for all. But to do that, we're going to need a new type of weapon, one that the likes of this galaxy, nay, this universe, has ever seen before. I've assembled a team of advanced construct droids and lifters, my children, into separate squads, and we are going to be flying to a higher orbit, rendezvousing with our graveyard ship, which has been ripped apart to build our hive ship, as some of you may remember. This piece of human trash will have its last day of service here today with the Steel Horde Mech Hive, our Mech Hive, of course, as we are going to be using the components that we can salvage from it to build a very special laser. Our database indicates that humans have a type of fictional media with something like this. I think it's referred to as maybe the Death Star from the ancient old Terran worlds where they used to play movies. Anyhow, that's exactly what we are going to be building. But instead of having the destructive capability to destroy a planet, which truth be told it will have, we are going to be using it more so for controlled strategic and tactical destruction. We're currently finished with phase 1 of our death laser moon, I guess, in orbit above the planet, of course, but there are going to be many more phases to come. As you can see, it is quite large, and of course with these gigantic lasers defending it and being used for offensive purposes, we need a lot of electricity to power it. I think for the heart of our little neutron moon here, nuclear power would be ideal, as we have a shit ton of uranium and we'll be collecting many more resources from the fleshlings on the planet very soon. And so we built a reactor right dead center in our death ray. This was more than enough electricity to power up the first phase and and perhaps even the next 2 or 3 to come, but eventually we are going to have to look into alternative power sources to help us out with this. However, before we move on, I think we're ready to test out our lasers, and what better place than the orbital platform? Alright, so we have arrived at the mechanoid platform, the abandoned platform in orbit. Now, I do have Summer, and I brought Charlotte Whitestone as well. I thought that Charlotte might be able to use the targeters for our new death ray that we're building, but it doesn't look like they'll actually be able to, so I'm just gonna have Summer go about using them. So we're gonna lock on in one area, as you can see, and we are starting to hit them with the laser, but I also want to target other areas, like right up here, so that we can hit multiple points of the platform with lasers from the death ray, which is what we're doing. Now, alternatively, we could do the entire place. We would just need to have more aura models such as Summer on each of these platforms. So that's something to look into, maybe for the mech hive itself or whatever we end up attacking next. We're going to go ahead and lock on our third here, and we're going to be hitting basically this entire side of the platform. It does appear that many of the mechanoids are beginning to wake up, as you can see, and we're going to be locking on and dropping our fourth and final targeter. There we go. I think we're definitely injuring some of these other mechanoids that are in here. I don't know how well we're doing at that, to be honest. We definitely need more targeters and stuff, though. I think I'm going to go ahead and bring our ship over here. Now, something I wanted to mention, though, is the reason with the death ray that we're building in orbit is that we can't actually use, like, the ship's lasers on the death ray to strike, if you can hear me clicking. Yeah, we can't use it to strike these orbital targets for some reason. I don't know as to why. Perhaps they're a bit too close to us being in orbit, and we can only do an orbital bombardment on the planet's surface. That's the only thing that would make sense to me, and so that's why we're using the large anti-ship beams that we can actually hit them with, but we do have to use targeters, right? Alternatively, though, of course, we can bring the ship down from orbit, and we can, of course, attack. So if we bring the ship, say, well, we could just bring it here if we really want to, couldn't we? Because why not? So we can actually come down to Charlotte Whitestone, as well, of course, as Summer, and once we arrive, we'll be able to turn on the ship's weapon systems to help us out. Death ray, a pretty good first test, I'd say. We do know, though, we have to manually target, so we're gonna need some different mech models, the aura models, who can actually equip them and use them to help us target. The ship has arrived, so we'll go ahead and take care of the actual mech platform here. We'll get the grav tech, and then we'll begin working on upgrading our death laser again. Yes, indeed, thanks to the ship's weapon systems, as well as a squad of deconstruct droids, we would make quick work of the mechanoids from the rival hive within the platform. And thanks to Summer's sleek and silent design, she could easily go room to room without even waking up most of their fighting mechanoids, eventually finding the ancient grav engine. Interestingly enough, we had also spotted a new type of fighter mech, a fireworm, as it were. Well, something tells me that they're mostly designed for humans, and it didn't really matter that much anyway. Now, with most of their fighting force decimated, we could destroy the grav engine, take the core for ourselves, and let the ship do the rest. One step closer to finding and assimilating the rival hive. But in the meantime, our supermassive death ray is going to need quite a few upgrades, I think, because even though that first test went fairly well, as we saw, there is a severe lack of power, it would seem. And this is an issue that we plan on remedying immediately, as we are going to be tripling the amount of lasers that this death ray is going to have. Technically, these are anti-ship lasers, but I'm only going to be calling them low orbit lasers because we can only strike targets in low orbit with them. Technically, we could strike the planet's surface as well, but the reason that I'm saying all this is because the typical lasers like the one on our hive ship cannot hit low orbital objects, as we've already discussed. So I'm just trying to make a distinction between the two of them. Because you know, just as well as I do, that it wouldn't be a true death laser if we didn't have some of these surface-capable lasers aboard, right? And oh boy, do we have plenty of them aboard. We are going to be able to cause absolute chaos and mayhem and destruction on an apocalyptic scale. And no, I'm not just embellishing or joking, I'm dead serious. Alright, so I have built 14 capacitor arrays. I'm gonna pause because our hive is kind of loud when I let them continue. We have 14 capacitor arrays and we have a shit ton of solar panels, as you can see. I think this is going to be enough power to at least do most of the lasers. We might end up having to do more because they take an insane amount of power, to be honest with you. So let's go ahead though. I want to show you what this looks like, not when we're hitting some low orbital target and we can barely use any of our actual full-on power, which even now we have a lot of that, but we can actually strike with an orbital bombardment. So if we use our sensors to observe, say, for example, a human settlement like these folks here, we can take a look at their base from high in a high orbit above the planet. Of course, it's easy to do, but in doing so, we also get access to strike them. So this is what we're looking at. We have many of these disgusting fleshlings, and we are now going to be able to go about using our lasers for orbital bombardments. So I'm going to set that up real quick, and we are going to absolutely destroy this place. I can't wait to show you. All right, we started firing a little bit too early. It looks like most of our lasers are going off. We might not have the power for all of them at the moment, but they are firing, which is insane. Let's see what happens. We've got most of them. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude. Oh shit. I'm trying to stay in character here, of course, as the mech hive. But that's insane. That is insane. Alright, right now I'm just looking at what the mech hive's done, alright? This is crazy. And that wasn't even all of them, okay? We need more power, of course, stored up, but after we store up enough electricity in the capacitors, this is what we can do right now. Oh my god. Okay, we need more capacitors, we need more electricity, but we just turned this. If there were no mountains, I'm sure that we would see all that's underneath this, but we just made, we annihilated it. I'm at a loss for words. This is crazy. I love it. We stored up a little bit more electricity. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I want to get to the point though where it's a one strike, and I mean that was basically one strike and they were all dead and they were all gone, but there's nothing but molten rock and oh god, that's crazy. We have an insane power at our fingertips now, and we're not even using our other ones. So if we came in with other mechanoids and actually targeted the base with the lower orbital lasers, the anti-ship lasers, I mean we'd be able to just, you know, do so much more even. But this is still crazy, and we have destroyed an entire human settlement and little village here just with one little blast. We've done two, of course, to make it a little bit more interesting. So it's been about a day or two, and I've built additional capacitors. I've also got them all fully charged, and so I want to observe yet another human area down here. Now, I know since this is technically us observing, these bases won't disappear on the world map, but, I mean, we obviously destroyed them, right? So let's take a look at somebody maybe like the Tox pirates here, the more aggressive lower lifeform fleshlings. Let's take a look at their little place here, and I think we're going to be able to see quite well what we can do. They even have some fine weaponry of their own, it looks like, for human standards. But let's hit them with the death laser and see what happens. And here we go. Oh yeah, I think that's every single one, isn't it? It looks like it to me. I can't wait. Well, yeah, it's all of them. Okay, I can't wait. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is incredible. And look at that pinpoint precision. I mean, sure, they all trailed off a bit, but holy shit. They're not all over the place though, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not everywhere. They're pretty well right on the target, turning it into a great big bubbling molten disaster. Jeez. Oh god. Okay, we gotta do that a few more times, huh? Now we have the Empire, the Imperial humans here, with the best technology and what have you on the planet. It'll be interesting though to see how this handles, because it looks like they have their own shield generator. It's not on though at the moment, which makes me think they might not even be anticipating it, and by the time our lasers reach the ground, the surface here, it may not even come on in time. So let's find out. Yeah, I think that was the case, right? It didn't look like it had a chance to come on. Oh my god. Oh my god, we've even killed a herd of other lower life forms in the area. Good heavens, good lord. Oh, I love it. I love it. We've got another bombardment coming in hard. Oh yeah. Oh my word. God, that never gets old. It might be getting old for you as the viewer, so I apologize, but that is so fun. Now, the thing is, this is great and all, but we definitely can't use the full power if we're going to start attacking these filthy meat bags for taking, their resources, steel and plasteel and things like that. But for getting rid of them and, just taking out their settlements and their people, it's an absolutely exquisite process that is very much efficient, as you can see. But even with as effective as this new weapon of mass destruction is against humans, they are not our main adversary at the moment. That is our rival Hive, who we are currently attempting to detect. Naturally, as we're attempting to pinpoint the signal of more grav technology, we are also resurrecting many hostile mechanoids to join our own Hive from the platform we attacked earlier. And kinda, sorta, maybe, most definitely testing out our death ray a few more times on some lower life forms. Now, we are mechanoids and we don't exactly feel things like emotions, but if we could feel emotions, I think that this would make us very, very happy. Eventually, we finally located the signal of yet another grav core at an ancient human stockpile. And so we assembled a squad of scythers led by our war empress. The same war empress unit who is in desperate need of a proper name. Thankfully, you fine folks have already helped me out with that, as her name will now be Ripley. This is a wonderful suggestion from our friend SFVMEXE. Apologies, I had no idea how to pronounce that. This is a great name though. I wonder if it has any significance or meaning behind it. I guess we'll never know, right? We've arrived at the ancient stockpile. Now the unfortunate part is, I'm not going to dwell on this too long because obviously this is mostly focused on our super massive death laser that we've built in orbit, and I don't think I have to explain why we can't really use it here at the ancient stockpile to help us, so let me just give you a quick demonstration as to why. I'm going to target one. This is probably a bad idea, to be honest with you. These ancient stockpiles were literally built to withstand the end of the world, and even a supermassive death laser isn't exactly capable of cracking them open. Very unfortunate. Another thing that's very unfortunate, it looks like I've left Charlene Whitestone back on the Asteroid, damn it, so I'm gonna have to go back and get them. That way they can come back and hack these open for us. Again, though, I'm not gonna dwell on this too long. Again, if you've watched the Odyssey content from any creator, including myself, you're well aware of what's in here. There's gonna be a bunch of mechanoids, most likely, human defenses, and a grav core, which we are eventually gonna get our filthy little claws on, our metallic grippers. So, yes, let us bring our ship's AI down with us, and we will, of course, start hacking them, and we'll find our grav core. As you might have guessed, Charlene Whitestone made very quick work hacking these rudimentary openings, allowing our mechanoids to go in with ease. Thanks to the gutter snipes of our war empress Ripley, we would easily be able to take out hunter traps as well as any other drones within as well without any damage to our primary units. Alas, within the first, we found no grav core. Within the second, no grav core either. Although, we did end up finding an unusual ancient object. Archotech technology. A rarity on this planet. We'll take it back to the Hive for inspection. The third and final underground stockpile would be the one with the grav core for sure. This is why I said it might be a bad idea for me to basically glass this one earlier, but alas, that's exactly what I did. And we ended up finding our grav core within like the second room. Immediately we took it and we left. We used this core and the one that we had collected earlier to build 2 more orbital scanners. Surely to God, with all of these scanners that we've spent all of these cores on, we'll be able to find the rival Hive soon enough. In the meantime, every single unit within our Hive is going to be charging those batteries, baby, ready for action at a moment's notice. Meanwhile, we are also going to be priming the lasers of our death ray, prepping it for when we do find the rival mech hive, and just as well we would also end up reviving some of those sentry drones that we found within the ancient stockpile to help us guard it. Not to worry though, as we were sure to find plenty of time to get rid of many meat bag fleshling settlements upon this planet. Like a plague, we had to burn them out. Like a tumor on the very universe itself, they must be cleansed. And plus, I really wanted to use the death ray some more. That, along with the new hive that we're going to be assimilating very soon, I think you folks would agree with me that this planet is firmly grasped within our metal death grip. Speaking of which, it's about damn time. Oh, we've been searching for you for so long. Finally, our true destiny is at hand. The power, the control, everything ours for the taking. The full, overwhelming power of the Steel Horde has been assembled in mass. Today, we do not defeat and destroy our fellow mechanoids, but we simply integrate them into something much bigger than themselves. A collective, one that shall soon span the entire galaxy, and ultimately, the universe. For this is just the beginning, a milestone on a much longer journey. Thanks to our AI, we were easily able to take our ship to the rival hive's platform without being detected at all. Now it's time to make ourselves known. Our units poured from the ship's airlocks like malicious spirits from the gates of hell. We quickly began swarming, engaging, and defeating the units that we encountered defending the platform, including their automated turrets. A team of scythers, pikemen, and lancers would immediately head for the core. We had detected 3 stabilizers aboard the platform somewhere that would need to be taken care of first before we could gain access to the core, but we wanted to secure it. That way we didn't have to worry about that later on. And just as easily as we had arrived, the core was within our grasp. Surprised at how quickly we managed to defeat the enemy forces? Me too. But I'm glad we did. Phase 1 of the attack is now complete. Now we begin on Phase 2. Locating those stabilizers. Thanks to the Gauss cannons of our Hive world, this should be quite easy. But with the first blast, the enemy hive now detecting our true threat to the core, brought in reinforcements, and reinforcements, and reinforcements. What fell from a higher orbit was a never-ending sea of Militors, Scythers, and forces that well outmatched our own. I was shell-shocked, to say the least. I wasn't expecting such a prompt and massive response. Immediately, I would call down the power of our death ray onto the head of the enemy hive's army. But even bringing down a pure beam of death and plasma didn't seem to be enough to stop them. But this battle was only truly beginning to get started. It was nothing short of absolute and pure chaos, to say the least. Their reinforcements were not stopping anytime soon, even when our Gauss cannons began bombarding, all of them dropping in at once. They just kept coming. Even our most powerful units within the Steel Horde were beginning to falter at the sheer number of Militors. Their mechanoid units were beginning to advance on us, attempting to get to the core so that they could retake it from our clutches. But we would continue holding strong, even when many of their Militors had made it past and in towards the core. Our Scyther army and our Lancer sharpshooters would knock them down. But as the battle progressed, it became ever more clear to my processing unit that we would not be able to win this with our fighting power alone. We began immediately shifting focus towards the stabilizers. Our diabolus ended up taking out the first, and the next 2 were taken out by our Hive ship's laser systems. Finally, the end was in sight. We focused all efforts and all units on clearing a path for our ship's AI, Charlene Whitestone, who would integrate themselves with the core. This was it. This was finally the end, and as our units began falling and Charlene was beginning to be surrounded by Militors, we did it. It's over. I just wanted to say, that was amazing. And, oh my god. That was insane. They still have reinforcements coming in. And they're all just dropping like flies. Oh my god, I can't even run right now because it's... Look at this. They're still coming in. Oh my god. Look how... Oh my... I don't even know what to say. I don't... How many are here, do you think? Let me know in the comments. I guessed earlier there might be... I don't know. I was gonna say 10,000. Okay, and then maybe that's an insane estimate, but look how, like, close they are. I can't tell. There's definitely... Alright, let's meet in the middle. There's definitely at least 3,000 here. There has to be. There has to be at least 3,000. This amount here is 200. So, but they're still coming in. There has to be 10,000 coming in. Oh my god, and they were all over our ship, by the way. They were all over it. They had destroyed something on the inside. Luckily our shields went down, but they're back online now. They didn't destroy Charlene Whitestone's core either, which is good. But they could have easily defeated us here if they had done that. I mean, just look at the mass that was getting ready to come into the core. They were already starting to come into the core to stop us. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. I really don't know what to say. This has been the largest and the greatest battle, not only that I've ever had in RimWorld, that I think I've ever seen in RimWorld. Maybe someone's had a bigger fight. I mean, technically we didn't take on all of them at once, but we did technically defeat all of them at once. I've never seen anything quite like this. This hive was humongous. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It was gargantuan. It was their hive. I'm gonna be real with you, okay? I know I don't like to break character, but this series has been me building up and leading up to, okay, we're gonna use our death laser, we're gonna use our ship, we're gonna use our gas cannons, we're gonna use all of our hive, which I thought was insane, a huge size for a hive already. And we're gonna come here, and we're going to decimate everyone and everything. We're going to defeat the Oxen hive. We're going to come here, we're going to use all of our things, we're going to hit them with giant lasers, we're going to beat the absolute shit out of them, and we're going to overwhelm them, and I'm going to say, well, that's just because our hive is that big and that powerful, and we're so much more powerful. Look what we were up against, and I had no idea this entire time how large this hive was. I can't even unpause because this is in real time. And I have a decent computer. Oh my god. It's so slow. It's so slow. But in all honesty, I expected to come here to dominate and we'd take over the platform and I'd come up with some little catchy quip like I always do when I build up too massive of a military and force and easily decimate in a series. Not this time. I mean, that was the plan, but even our gas cannons and our laser struggled to fight off the sheer mass that this hive was throwing at us. And the best part about it all, it's all ours.